Last night, the Newton Ram baseball team came out with a vengeance, looking for the sub-region championship against a Shiloh General team that had beaten them 19-8 just 3 days earlier. No dice tonight for the Generals, though, as the Rams defeated them by a score of 4-0. Newton did their damage early in the game. With 2 on in the first inning, Stephen Hires laced one to right field.
Stretch in the first pitch to Hires. Line, base hit, right field. That'll take one home. Here comes Easterday. He's around third base. He will score. Stopping at third is Floyd. It's a single off the bat of Stephen Hires going the opposite way. And an early 2-0 lead. Listen to that crowd.
The Newton Rams never looked back. Last night's hero Doyle Baker held the Generals to 1 hit through 7 innings as he pitched the complete game shutout. And in the 7th inning, Baker brought the Newton Ram fans to their feet and the Shiloh Generals to their knees.
Baker on the line. Here's the pitch. Swinging it on over at the Brandon Smith. He's got it over the board. And that's the winner. That's the winner.
Newton Ram baseball is next as they go for the region championship tonight. The Newton Rams against the Duluth Wildcats from Duluth High School. Kevin Holden and Bill Dolan will have your play-by-play next on WGFS AM 1430.
Bleacher Bums, 2 consecutive nights. Can you beat it? Last night, the sub-region championship. Tonight, the Region 8 Quad A championship from Duluth High School in Duluth, Georgia. Welcome to Newton Ram Baseball. My name is Kevin Holden. To my left and starting play-by-play this evening, Bill Dolan. Bill, comes down to this. 2 teams from Division B of 8 Quad A, 2 teams that were in the race the entire regular season. They'd finished tied for first place, and only fitting these 2 would meet for the region championship.
Not surprising, actually, that it is 2 teams from Region B, considering some of the teams over on the other side when you have a Parkview and teams such as that, but they went by the wayside. The Duluth Wildcats beating the Parkview Panthers twice to advance to this game. Tonight it's all the marbles for the region championship. The good news is both teams go to the state tournament no matter what, having won on their respective side. The bad news is one team will have to lose here tonight and doesn't get to fly the banner of the Region 8 Quad A region champ.
And that's what this game is all about. This game really doesn't have much in terms of making or not making the playoffs. It doesn't have those kind of implications, but as you mentioned, the winner will stay at home in the first round of the playoffs and take on the number 2 seed from Region 7 Quad A. The winner of this game stays at home and does that. The loser will be the number 2 seed in 8 Quad A. They will travel to the number 1 7 Quad A seed and play them there. So this is for pride for a region championship, but most of all for a chance to be at home first round of the state playoffs. National anthem, Bill, is about to be played. Our national anthem, and now, even better thing. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play of the first half of the Region 8 Quad A Championship. Bill, the Rams won the region in 1994, looking to do so for the second time in 4 years.
All right, Kevin, this is the way the Rams will start off. They are the visiting team. They'll bat first. Jarvis Johnson playing center field tonight and leading off. Ryan Moon hitting second and third base. Matt Easterday takes the mound. Remember, he came up with the big effort last Thursday night in the first game of the region tournament. Hitting cleanup, Lane Floyd, the man with the hot bat. In the 5 hole, Stephen Hires playing first base. Doyle Baker, the man of the hour last night, plays left field tonight. And it's 6th. Kerry Gilstrap moves into shortstop and will hit 7th. And in the 8 hole, Bradley Dobbs, the designated hitter. And bringing up the rear, hitting 9th, Brandon Smith playing second base.
For the Wildcats of Duluth at home for this region championship. This is their defensive scheme. Brent Dubose is their first baseman. Jeff Bradford will play second for them. Nick Green and Kevin Green, the Green brothers, manning the left side of the field. P.J. Bendig is in left field. Ryan Ike in center. And Scott Barber is over in right field for the Wildcats. Chris Reeves behind the plate. Lee Naylor is on the mound. Naylor, a right-hander. We'll got against the Rams here this afternoon, and Bill Dolan, another wonderful, exciting baseball game played on a very nice day, just like yesterday.
Beautiful day. A little bit of wind blowing. Appears to be blowing at us as we sit behind, so that may help to keep in the ballpark here. Not exactly a big field. 289 down the left field line, 305 down the right field line. Straightaway center appears to be about 345. but with a very high fence out there. And just about ready to begin baseball action on WGFS.
Can't wait to start it up. The Rams may be 7 innings away from another region championship.
Lee Naylor brings the first pitch of the ball game home, and it's going to be a strike called as Jarvis appeared to be taking all the way.
Of course, this region championship will mean a little less than 94 going through that 6th tournament, but still means an awful lot to these folks. Don't tell these people that this game is worthless.
Naylor prepares to bring the next one home, and it's going to be a strike called in the area of the knees. Officials the game, Armatron time, 7 o'clock.
Right on the hour. Perfect for a region championship game.
0-2 the count to Jarvis Johnson. Naylor brings the next one. Breaking ball, and that one will stay outside. 1-2 the count.
Naylor keeping the ball down in the strike zone. Looks like he has a very far leg drive toward home plate, a long leg drive that helps him keep the ball down.
He prepares to bring the 1-2 to Jarvis. Here it comes. Swinging a shot down the left field line. Foul.
Jarvis Johnson looking to poke the ball at left field there, Bill. That idea with the Duluth Wildcats playing him a couple of steps to pull. A little bit of room down that left field line for Johnson, and of course he'd like to start it off with the base hit.
Joe Brasfield kind of ducking out of the way a little bit. Here's the one again, and Jarvis fouls that one back. That appeared to maybe get a piece of his foot or something there as he hobbles a little bit.
Kind of that ball straight into the ground. That ball had downward movement on it, so when Johnson swung at it, got up over the top half of the ball and hit it straight down.
Job of fighting off a top pitch. Tough pitch by Jarvis. Here comes the 1-2 again. Upstairs for a ball as Jarvis takes the high cheese.
The first time that he has seen a high pitch from Naylor, and it's obvious that Naylor is going to use the high fastball for a strikeout pitch when he can.
2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Inside and low. That runs the count full, and Jarvis coming back from an 0-2 deficit. Now ahead in the count at 3-2. Ryan Moon waits on deck. Rams hoping to get something started early like they did last night. Here's the full count pitch. And he is called out on a pitch and does not like the call. Fastball inside corner and about the knees, Kevin.
Johnson took a step back away from that pitch as it came in toward home plate. He was thinking that ball might have been inside, but the home plate umpire rang him up. He hadn't been calling the inside pitches earlier in the at-bat, but Johnson is gone for the first out.
That brings third baseman Ryan Moon to the plate. Ram dugout whooping it up. Miller brings the first one home to Plug. Curveball chopped towards third, and Kevin Green will boot it in. Plug will be on board on the error by the third baseman.
Kevin Green and Nick Green, no stranger to these Duluth Wildcat fans and the folks in this area. They have been pounding balls for years and years in the Duluth area. In fact, they almost made it to 11 and 12 World Series 6 years ago thanks to just those two hitters. They were pretty much the predominant offense for this team. So the arrival of the Green Boys at Duluth has been something that's been waited for a long time, but in the first chance of the region championship, Kevin Green bobbles the ball.
Okay, has his lead from first. That'll bring Matt Easterday to the plate. Here's the first one to Matt, and it's down in the dirt. Good pickup by Chris Reeves, the catcher.
A lot of room behind home plate. And so, again, it will be important to have a catcher who can block balls, and Newton has one of those, and it appears so do the Wildcats.
Josh Millwood leading the cheers in the dugout. Miller prepares to bring the 1-0 to Easterday. Instead, over to first. Moon back in standing. Newton Ram baseball as they play for another region championship. Naylor has his sign, checks Moon, brings it to Matt, and that's going to be a strike called on the outside corner at the knees.
Rams have won 3 since 1989. They won back-to-back region titles, 89 and 90. Had a bit of a drought, came back in 94, picked up the region title there. Have a chance for that fourth one in 8 years.
1-1 the count to Easterday. Naylor checks the runner. Here's the next one. Curveball, and it's a beauty as it will catch the inside corner right about the thighs, and Matt, unable to do anything with it, falls behind now in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Naylor keeping the ball down and hitting corners early on. And the more you put the ball around those corners, the more you'll get that call from the home plate umpire.
Moon with his lead. Here's the next one to Easterday. Swinging a shot, and that's going to be right to the shortstop. Over to second for 1, over to first, double play, and that's going to do it for the Rams in their half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. There was one Duluth error. He was erased in the double play. We head now to the bottom of the first inning. No score. You're listening to all the exciting action of Region 8 Quad 8 Championship Baseball on your local leader for sports, WGFS AM 1430, made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communications, who were selected as AirTouch Cellular's Agent of the Year in the small market category, the fourth time they have received this award.
We're back from Duluth High School, from the bleachers at Duluth. We bring you Newton Ram Baseball live. The Newton Rams and Duluth Wildcats in the Region Championship. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play and the lineup of the Duluth Wildcats in this Region Championship.
Thank you very much. Kevin Holden will be Jeff Bradford playing second base and hitting first. Scott Barber, the right fielder, hits second. Nick Green, the shortstop, hits third. Brent DuBose, the first baseman, hits in the cleanup spot. Kevin Green at third base, hitting fifth. Dave Baird, the designated hitter, hits sixth. Chris Reeves, the catcher, in the 7-hole. DJ Bendig, the left fielder, hits eighth. And Ryan Ivey, the center fielder, hits in the 9 spot.
Newton Rams with a little different look defensively with Easterday on the mound. Of course, the shortstop hole is vacated and filled by Barry Gilstrap. So it's Ryan Moon at third and Gilstrap at short. Smith and Hires over on the right side. It's Doyle Baker at left field. Jarvis Johnson moving out to center. Gilstrap's moved to the infield. Ryan Lee been making some good defensive plays out there in right field. He mans that position. Lane Floyd behind the plate has been the star of these last 3 or 4 games, and he catches Mr. Matt Easterday. And the last time he took the mound, Bill, a stellar performance, putting the Rams in a good position in the sub-region tournament.
Absolutely, Matt, with a 7-hit shutout, walking no one. I think that was the key to the game. He was able to scatter the hits, and through the shutout, Rams winning it in 5. Jeff Bradford will step up to the plate and be the first hitter against Easterday. Matt has a sign from Lane Floyd. Here's his first pitch. Swinging a shot to center field. Going back is Jarvis Johnson. Back, and that ball's off the wall. And Jarvis gets it in quickly, and Bradford will be in with a stand-up double.
So the Wildcats aggressive on the first pitch of the game from Easterday, picking up the double. And now if you're the Newton Rams, it's important mentally to come right back here and try to retire these hitters. Even if you have to give up the run, you want to start a momentum of getting some outs here with these next hitters in the order.
Next hitter will be Scott Barber, the right fielder. Easterday peers in to get his sign. He's got it. Checks the runner at second. Here's the first one. Breaking ball way high. Not sure if it's the angle or what, Kevin, but that mound appears to be very high. Drops off suddenly. Here's the 1-0 from Easterday. Swinging a shot to center field. On his horse is Jarvis. He'll get there. Runner will have to scurry back and unable to tag. Good running catch by Jarvis Johnson in center field.
Easterday has not fooled either of these first 2 hitters. They have hit some rocket shots off the bats. Fortunately, this time Jarvis Johnson right there to make the play. That's an atom ball. Hit very hard, but right at him.
That'll bring Nick Green to the plate. Nick playing shortstop tonight in the game we carried back on March 31st. He was at second base. Evidently, they've made moving around. They made quite a few errors that night, if I recall.
He did. It was a big factor. The Rams picking up the win.
1 out, and now Easterday will call Floyd out there as they appeared to have a little miscommunication on the 6th.
Remember, the Rams got an early lead, then let Duluth kind of back into the game in the middle innings with some problems of their own, but Rams coming out when it mattered the most, picked up the win. They did not win up here at Duluth. They lost by a score of 6-2. So the Rams have not been successful in these guys' only trip to Duluth High School.
Easterday has a sign from Floyd. Now he'll check the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and there was a good Matt Easterday curveball.
Easterday keeping that one around the knees, and it's tough to catch up, especially if you're expecting fastball and they go away from you. Got your momentum going down the third baseline on a pitch away. Tough to hit.
0-1 the count to Green. Here's the next one. Swinging a dribbler down the third base line. Plug over. Knocks it down. And he will not be able to do anything with it, and it'll be a base hit for Green.
Boone did a great job keeping that ball in the infield, diving to do so. And shortstop Kerry Gilstrap unable to get to third base in time to cover there. Of course, I don't know if the Ram regular shortstop Matt Easterday would have had the chance to get over there to cover. So Moon wisely, instead of trying to make an errant throw or race a runner to the bag, just stay put. So now Duluth in a position with first and third. They can do an awful lot. Watch that runner at first base.
Good job of base running by Jeff Bradford as he waited until Moon hit the ground and then took off and was able to reach third base safely. Here's the first pitch to DuBose, and it's going to be fouled off his foot. 0-1 the count.
Rams facing a very important batter here in DuBose. They also have to watch Nick Green at first base. See him go. The Rams could cut a throw off to keep Bradford at third.
Ram infield looking for the double play. Yesterday, that over to first. Diving back in is Nick Green. Kevin Green, his brother, waits on deck. Brent DuBose, the first baseman, stands at the dish now. 0-1. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. That might be two. Over to Shorty. Shorty to kill strap for one. Over to first. Double play. They got him both. And the Rams get out of it with no damage. And there's a tie turner for you, Kevin Holden. For the Duluth Wildcats. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We head now to the top of the second inning. Still no score on your local leader for sports, WGFS AM 1430. Made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communication, your local source for cellular, paging, and two-way radio equipment.
Newton Ram fans cheer on their own Newton Rams here from Duluth High School. We head to the second inning, no score. Region Championship Baseball. Bill Dolan with your play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden, and it will be Lane Floyd leading it off for the Rams against Naylor. Here's the first pitch, and that's going to be a strike called. Lee Naylor works in his second inning. Had one hitter reach on an error. He was erased in a double play, so Floyd only the 4th hitter of the game for the Rams. Naylor brings the 0-1. Floyd swings and misses at a curveball, and what a wicked pitch by Lee Naylor. That broke down and in on Floyd.
A nasty pitch to throw at 0-1. Now we'll wonder what he comes back with 0-2.
0-2 the count. Here's the next one to Floyd. Swinging a chopper, and Naylor will take it himself and throw over to DuBose at first, and Floyd retired easily. 1-3 in your scorebook.
And this is a situation in which a pitch that isn't hit still helps you receive an out. And that is the curveball down and into Floyd when he turned his hips, swung and missed on a pitch down and in, then had to watch the outside part of the plate. By the same token, had to watch also for that nasty curveball again. And when Naylor came back outside, all Floyd could do was ground it weakly back his way.
That'll bring Stephen Hires to the plate. Here's the first one to Stephen, and that breaking ball, that one breaks just a little bit outside. Stephen hit the ball hard a couple times last night. In fact, many people felt he was safe on a close play at first base. Here's the 1-0 to Stephen. Swinging, he skies it a mile high, and looks like the second baseman, Jeff Bradford, calls for it and squeezes it for the out.
Hires trying to go the other way on the outside pitch, but just got under that one. Right now, the Newton Rams having some trouble figuring out Lee Naylor. Been mixing up locations and speeds, very much like the man stepping to the plate right now.
That will be Doyle Baker, who did such an excellent job last night, pitching what many referred to as a masterpiece. Here's the first pitch to Doyle, swinging a shot towards right field. Can't see it, back at the wall, at the track, and it is adios! Doyle Baker, the first hit of the game for the Rams, and the first run, he went the opposite field with it, and that ball cleared the fence out just over the 325 mark in right center field.
Baker got a pitch up about number high, about at the gut level, went straight into the ball, but what you like to see from Baker is not the fact that he was thinking about the home run. It's obvious that swing was not a home run kind of swing. It was a level swing on a pitch on the outside part of the plate. The fact that Naylor hung the ball up about number level is the reason why it was taken out. So, two things tremendous there by Baker. One, the home run cloud. Two, the fact that he isn't thinking about going for the home run, thinking about the line drive.
Absolutely, Kevin. Just a great swing at it, driving it, and unfortunately, we're having a little trouble with our vision here as the sun's setting. It took a while to pick it up. You can see the outfielders scurrying to the wall, and that ball appeared to clear him with a fair amount of room to space. Gilstrap to the plate now, ducks out of the way of a curveball from Naylor. So the Newton Rams jump on top again tonight.
They have done that well in the last several games. That's one huge reason, Bill, why they've been winning games. scoring first.
1-0 the count to Carey. Here's the next one. There's going to be a strike called as Naylor will catch the outside corner with the fastball.
Some pitchers, Bill, will pitch better when they have momentum, but once they give up a hit or two, they tend to get rattled. We'll watch Naylor in this situation.
There's the 1-1 and a curveball, and Carey chases it. That may have been ball 2 breaking outside, but Carey had to protect it, and he weakly fouls it back.
Gilstrap, like the on-deck hitter, Bradley Dobbs, both of them very young, and so learning that patience of the strike zone. And the more postseason games you play, the more word gets around if you're an impatient hitter.
Here's the 1-2 to Gilstrap, and just a little bit outside with the fastball. Chris Reeves tried to frame the pitch, but evidently it missed just outside.
Fortunate for Carey, who has struggled over the last 4 games.
2-2 the count with 2 outs to Carey Gilstrap. Here's the pitch. Swinging a number down the third base line. That'll be foul and fielded cleanly by Coach Joe Brassfield. Fires it back to the mound. Wing-ding inning will be in the 3rd inning tonight as we miss it again, Kevin.
How do we keep missing these home runs?
Lee Naylor brings the 2-2 to Gilstrap. Swinging a shot out to Nick Green at short. Glove scoops and fires, and that's going to do it for the Rams in their half of the 2nd inning. They do come up with 1 run. They did so on 1 base hit. There were no errors and nobody left on base. We have now 2 at the bottom of the 2nd inning. Your score is the Newton Rams 1 and the Duluth Wildcats 0. You're listening to all the exciting action of Region 8 Quad A Championship Baseball on WGFS AM 1430, made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communication, your local leader for cellular service and two-way radio.
That's the Newton Rams fans. We're coming to you live from the bleachers. Bleacher Bums are back, including Bill Dolan on play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Holden. Matt Easterday will work in the bottom of the 2nd inning. First pitch, a curveball and a beauty as Green comes up empty. 0-1 the count. 2 double plays in the ballgame. Each team has hit into one and bailed the pitcher out in the 1st inning. Easterday works ahead in the count to Green. Here it comes, and it's fouled back here and out of play, and it just misses the bus down below. 0-2 the count.
Now, Easterday has worked Kevin Green with a curveball and a fastball, but has kept both down.
Here comes the 0-2 to Kevin Green. There's a curveball. See ya. Kevin Green does a left turn and heads back to the dugout. Evidently, he is struck out.
Interestingly enough, Bill, the home plate umpire delayed with the call. Floyd was crossed up on that pitch by Easterday. He was set up outside, and Easterday came inside, but over the plate. And despite the delay, that's strikeout number 1 for the Rams senior hurler.
And he pitches now to Jay Baylor, the designated Jay Bear, rather. Check it. Here's the first one. Swinging a ball hit up the middle, and that'll hit the bag and kick on into center field for a base hit.
They're taking that ball back where it was pitched. I like the fact that Easterday is throwing first pitch strikes. Remember, the same kind of scenario happened against Central Gwinnett. Very good things happen when you throw first pitch strikes. Really, the worst thing that can happen is that Duluth will hit their share of base hits. Central Gwinnett did, but they didn't score any runs. The main reason, Easterday did not fall behind in the count and did not walk a single hitter.
Well, he's already given up 3 hits, and we're only in the 2nd inning. That's about the rate he went at in that game because he wasn't walking people. Giving up hits, like you say, 2 hits first inning, double play gets them out of it. Here's the first pitch curveball. That one stays just a little bit high to Chris Reeves, the catcher.
Easterday is a shortstop, so he understands the principle of let them hit it and let your defense behind you take care of it.
Ham infield looks for the double play to get out of the 2nd inning. Easterday checks and fires. Swing, and there's a softly hit ground ball to Gilstrap. 2nd for 1, over to first. Not in time. As that ball was just not hit hard enough. The Rams turned it quickly, but were unable to get the double play.
Kerry Gilstrap, from his shortstop position as he gets older, will probably take that ball himself. Smith was there at the bag, but Gilstrap probably about 3 steps away. And, of course, if you don't have to make a throw, you don't want to make a throw. So this time around, Gilstrap tosses it, but in a year or 2, you might see him take that himself.
And we've got a courtesy runner. It's going to be that Cody guy that we had so much trouble with last time.
J.J. Sakody.
J. Sakody. He runs for the catcher. Easterday now will face P.J. Bendig. He's left fielder. Head over to first base, Cody back in.
Sun directly up above center field here, so any fans behind home plate, every single one of them shielding their eyes right now in a very crucial portion of the game for them to see. They can't see a thing.
Here's Easterday's first pitch, and there's a shot towards the hole, and that'll be another base hit. Second hit of the inning, 4 hits in the game, and Doyle Baker gets it back in quickly. 2 outs, though, and still no harm done, so he can give up 2 hits every inning as long as they don't cross the plate.
Ground ball through the infield there isn't going to do much damage with a runner at first and 2 down. Again, no reason not to throw that ball over the plate. That ball is hit toward one of the defenders you have out, number 3.
That ball basically had eyes, Kevin. It got between Plug and Gary and right through the hole, just like that ball in the first inning did. But 3 feet to the left, it's an easy out. 3 feet to the right, it's an easy out. So good pitch. I mean, the ball not crushed, not hit hard, just one of those things. And I agree with you. Keep making that pitch with 2 outs.
A lot better to defend something like that and play 3 feet over than it is to walk people, because you know the old saying, you cannot defend the walk.
That is absolutely true. And this will be Ryan Ivey, the center fielder, stepping to the plate as he bats against Easterday in the bottom of the second. Here's Matt's first one to him. Breaking ball down low and a good stop by Lane Floyd as he slides across.
And that will be important here with the amount of distance between home plate and the screen.
One of those places where a runner could score from second if he's going all the way. Easterday will call time now.
Time for us to tell you about top half of the 3rd inning. The Hard Luck Cafe Wing Ding inning. Your chance to win hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe. We can't say enough about everything that they have done for WGFS throughout the years, and of course this year as well. Maybe if some of these Ram hitters come up and hit a big shot, might see 100 hot wings given away tonight.
We need to go ahead and give some away one time this year, Kevin. Easterday brings the 1-0 home, and there's going to be a strike called as he'll catch that inside corner. Matt continuing to throw strikes. I think that probably makes Coach Joe Brassfield happier than anything, just being around the plate, throwing the strikes. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, strike 2, as that was a beauty as it caught the corner at the knees.
Right now, Easterday and Floyd are just going to play a game of catch. Ivy was taking all the way.
Ryan Ivey doesn't appear to have a clue right now, so let's see what Matt will do with him. He'll wind and fire. Breaking ball, see ya. As I said, not a clue on that curveball. Second strikeout of the inning and the game for Matt Easterday for the Duluth Wildcats. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. Keep getting the hits, keep stranding them. Your score as we head to the top of the 3rd and the Hard Luck Cafe Wing Ding inning. Newton Rams on top by 1-0. You're listening to all the exciting action of Newton Ram baseball coming your way live on your local leader for sports, WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, who has been a cellular agent for 10 years, making them the oldest cellular dealer in this area and one of AirTouch Cellular's oldest agencies.
Newton Ram baseball, the fans are behind us. The Wing Ding inning is upon us. Bill Dolan doing play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden. And Bradley Dobbs will hit here in the Wing Ding inning, top of the 3rd, and Bradley bats for Barney Anglin of Covington, Georgia. Barney Anglin with a chance to win 100 hot wings. Bradley Dobbs has lost 2 in the series. Takes the next one for a strike call. That'll leave the count at 1-1.
And Dobbs can certainly hit a strike out of the ballpark. We've seen him do it twice, as you mentioned, in this tournament, but had a tendency to swing at some high pitches.
Here's the next one from Trailer, and he swings and misses the breaking ball, and besides chasing the high ones, he's had a little bit of trouble with the Uncle Charlie. Bradley hitting for Barney Anglin. Here's the next one, and he'll lay off that pitch, and that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The Wing Ding inning will continue into this weekend now that the Rams are in the state tournament, so get an entry by us at WGFS AM 1430. Get us by the station on Hendricks Street.
See you later. Bradley Dobbs takes the fastball on the outside of the plate for strike 3, and he'll make a right turn and go sit down.
And Dobbs, unfortunately, after swinging at the curveball inside, Bill had to watch the inside half of the plate. And a nice job there by Lee nailing the outside part of the plate for the out.
And that'll bring Brandon Smith, the second baseman, to the plate, and he'll be hitting for Debbie Stahl of Covington, Georgia. Shorty takes the first Low and away for a ball. Shorty has one home run to his credit, a long blast to beat Brookwood earlier this year. He waits for the 1-0. Here it comes, and that's going to be a strike called at the corner, on the outside corner at the knees. And leaving the count at 1-1. Rams bat here in the third in the wing-ding inning. Here's the pitch to Shorty. He'll bail out of the way of a curveball. Actually, he didn't get out of the way. It hit him. So good news for the Rams. Not so good news for Debbie Stoll. She won't get a chance to win hot wings from the Hard Luck Cafe.
Well, Debbie, if she's a true Ram fan, will appreciate Brandon Smith getting hit by that pitch, even though it may hurt a little bit. Got a base runner now for the Newton Rams here with one down at the top of the order. Gets set to drive him in. So Debbie considered making the sacrifice for the team, just like Brandon Smith did.
And that'll bring Jarvis Johnson to the plate. Jarvis bats for Ronnie Lowry of Covington, Georgia. Jarvis has power, has hit one this year, quite a few during Legion. Here's the first pitch to Jarvis. He'll hit a little number foul, and he'll fall behind in the count. No balls and one strike. We're in the top of the third inning. It's the Hard Luck Cafe wing-ding inning. Rams up by 1 on the long shot by Doyle Baker. Back in the second. Jarvis waits for the 0-1 pitch. Instead, over to first base, and back in time is Shorty.
Rams was in the bottom of the order, so the Wildcats will have to watch base. He stole a base during the sub-region tournament.
Jarvis Johnson, the leadoff hitter for the Rams, playing center field tonight. For the 0-1, here it comes, and it's down in the dirt. Good stop that time by the catcher, Chris Reeves. Almost said Chris Coker that time. We've said that a couple times the last couple nights, and with Chris there, Chris Coker, of course, the catcher for the Shiloh Generals. The Rams sent home. Jarvis waits for the 1-1. Runner goes, pitch way high and outside. Throw is, see ya. And Shorty out from me to you. Basically, a terrible pitch turned out to be almost be a pitch out, just as good as a pitch out, and Brandon Smith out stealing.
The Duluth Wildcats will treat that, of course, as if it were a pitch out, but it looked like Naylor could not get the spin off on the breaking ball and ended up throwing that one 2 feet outside, but in a perfect position for Reeves to make that throw.
And Jarvis hits now with 2 outs and the base is empty. Here's the pitch, and it almost hits him in the legs. He'll dive out of the way. That runs the count now to 3 balls and 1 strike. Already in the top of the third inning, Rams up by 1. Doyle Baker hit a long fly that left the yard. Here's the 3-1 to Jarvis. Ball 4 as it almost hits him again, same spot. And Ronnie Lowry will not get hot wings. That'll bring Ryan Moon to the plate. Ryan will hit for Dave Easterday of Covington, Georgia.
Dave's in attendance at today's ball game, Bill, and probably doesn't know it right now, but he's in line perhaps to get 100 hot wings.
If Ryan Moon can find the fence, and of course we saw Ryan hit 2 earlier this year, and he do again. Kind of a short fence to left field. It's high, but it's very short. If Plug can turn on one down that line, we know he's got that kind of power. Leading the way at first is Jarvis Johnson. He'll throw over there. Coach Joe Brassfield run with 2 outs here. Not a bad spot to run, I think. As the worst scenario, you got Plug leading off in the next inning. Jarvis with a lead, not going. Here's the pitch. Moon, a shot down the right field line, curving foul and out of play.
So you want to give yourself a reasonable chance to steal second base. Reeves has a pretty good arm, of course. What we saw from him was where he was in perfect throwing position on the pitch out. Now, we haven't seen him tested on a regular pitch, and the Rams didn't really steal that many bases against Duluth during the regular season, so this could be a 50-50 call.
0-1 the count. Naylor will check Jarvis and bring the next one home. They pitch out this time, and nothing doing. That one was a pitch out as the catcher, Chris Reeves, jumped up and got outside to field it, and Joe Brassfield not sending the runner that time.
Pitch out is not used very often in high school, and I think probably should be used more often. It can definitely be effective.
1-1 the count now to Ryan Moon. Throw back over to first. Jarvis back in time. Keep throwing over there. I kind of like it when they get more concerned about the runner than the hitter, especially with 2 outs, Kevin.
And Ryan Moon, a very good contact hitter, so he gets one up over the plate. Look for it maybe to be gap bound.
Here comes the 1-1 to Plug. Breaking ball, and that's going to be a strike called as it just catches the inside corner. Reeves once again came up ready to throw down to first base. Moon falls behind in the count now. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Jarvis, next to sign, gets his lead. Moon, ready for the next offering from Naylor. Here it comes. Pitch is high, runner going, throw is high, and Jarvis is safe. And that time we saw the catcher Reeves throw with not a perfect pitch to handle. Still not a bad one as it was a high pitch, but he kind of launched that one halfway into center field.
And I think he didn't set himself properly to make that throw, Bill. The high pitch will get you up out of your crouch. Reeves wanting to rush that throw to second base, I think didn't get himself planted in the right position and let that go a little bit high.
2-2 the count now. Base hit will plate one for the Rams. Here's the pitch to Moon, way outside. Ball 3, and Matt Easterday, the senior leader, waits on deck.
While Dave Easterday perhaps waits to see if Moon will swing and hit a deep one on a 3-2 pitch here.
3-2 the count. 2 outs. Jarvis Johnson leads away from second base. Ryan Moon, the senior third baseman, waits for the offering. And Naylor will step off.
Rams still with only 1 hit, but it's been the man who's been in the zone the last few nights. Doyle Baker said he wanted to work on the hitting tonight, and he did.
Here's the pitch to Moon. Swinging a shot, base hit into left field. Here comes Jarvis. He rounds third, and he will hold up as that ball was hit too solidly as it found its way through the hole into left field. And coming up quickly was P.J. Bendig, and Coach Brassfield had the stop sign up immediately for Jarvis.
And P.J. Bendig is able to play in shallow on right-handed hitters because of the shallow fence. In fact, in left center, it's still only 312 out there, so there's not a lot of ground for him to cover. So Bendig is afforded the opportunity to play much more shallow, and because of that, Johnson had to stop at third base. So actually, it cost the Rams a run to have a smaller ballpark this time.
And Matt Easterday now bats for Tammy Floyd of Covington, Georgia. Here's the first pitch and foul down the third base line. Easterday hit the ball sharply his first time, but picked a bad spot to do it as it went right to the shortstop, and they turned the 6-4-3 twin killing to take the Rams out of the first inning. He bats now in the third. Runners at the corners. Moon leads from first. Jarvis Johnson off third. Naylor brings the 0-1 to Easterday. Strike called outside corner, and Matt quickly in the hole now. No balls and 2 strikes.
He'll have to protect the plate, and that, of course, takes our contestant Tammy Floyd's chances down somewhat of winning hot wings. But speaking of Floyd, got a home run hitter on deck.
0-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Easterday. Swinging a shot, and it is into the hole. Throw to second, and they'll get the force out. And Matt Easterday robbed on an excellent play by Nick Green. So the Rams will come up empty. They do get 1 base hit, a hit batsman, and the man out stealing. And we head to the bottom of the third inning. No winners in the Hard Luck Cafe Wing-Ding inning. Your score is still 1-0 Newton Rams. You're listening to all this on your local leader for sports, WGFS AM 1430, made possible by East Metro Communications, your local source for cellular, paging, and 2-way radio equipment.
Newton Ram baseball, the region championship, and the fans are into it. Bottom half of inning number 3, and the Rams look to continue to hold the Duluth Wildcats here. They lead by 1. Bill Dolan brings you play-by-play. Keep them at bay.
Thank you very much, Kevin Holden, for the Duluth Wildcats in this half of the third inning. They will send the top of the lineup up for you. It'll be Jeff Bradford, who on the first pitch of the ballgame laced a double. See what Easterday does with him here in the third. Matt has his sign from Floyd. From the wind, here's the pitch. Curveball and a beauty. Strike called as he catches that outside corner.
First pitch, curveball strike. And again, we go back to the fact that shows great confidence. Feel you get ahead with that curveball.
Here's the 0-1 from Matt. Another curveball, and way out front is Jeff Bradford. And he suddenly finds himself on the short end of an 0-2 count.
And Easterday has been masterful with that curveball, keeping it down and using the break to go away from the right-handed batters.
0-2 the count to Bradford. Matt wheels and deals. Another one. See, 3 straight curveballs. Same result, 3 straight strikes. And that's the 3rd strikeout. Second one called for Easterday, and Bradford overmatched that time.
Bradford hit the first pitch of the game, a fastball to center field for a double. This time around, he saw 3 curveballs and look like a much different hitter. I think the scouting report would say he'll see nothing but number 2 the rest of the game.
Uncle Charlie. That'll bring Scott Barber to the plate. He flied out first, and there's another curveball from Easterdane. Boy, it's breaking sharp right now, Kevin.
It most certainly is. Looks as good as it did when the Rams played Central Gwinnett over at South Gwinnett High School, and if Easterdane can continue throwing that way, you may see goose eggs across that scoreboard.
Scott Barber, the right fielder. 0-1 the count. Easterdane brings the next one. There's a fastball. There's a shot on the ground. Shorty over, gloves, up, throws, got him. Good play by the diminutive second baseman as he ranged to his left, went down to a knee, and got him at first.
It is so exciting to be involved in postseason action and good postseason action. Take a look at the crowd, Bill. I know the rest of you on the other side of the mic here and other side of the radio can't see this, but if you could, you would really enjoy it. The house is packed tonight for the region championship game, and it's great to be in the middle of all that action.
And that will bring Nick Green, the shortstop, to the plate. Nick reached on a base hit and was erased in a double play. Here's Matt's first pitch to him. Curveball. This one hits on the plate, and he throws his first ball of the inning. Not too bad when it's the third hitter.
Not bad at all. Easterdane, in fact, threw several pitches before he threw his first ball.
1-0 the count. Here's the next one. Another breaking ball. This one lands about 3 feet in front of the plate, so suddenly the curveball biting a little too soon.
My guess is they're wanting to make sure to get the ball down to Nick Green. Of course, with a small ballpark, you don't want to get it up, and Easterdane probably trying a little too hard to keep the ball down.
Nick Green ahead, 2-0. Matt doesn't want to make a mistake here. He'll shake off. And Green decided he took a little too long, and he stepped out. Bottom of the third inning already. Ball game moving right along. Easterdane deals and deals the 2-0. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. And Matt has gotten very happy with the curveball.
Most certainly has.
2-1 the count now. 2 outs already here, though, in the bottom of the third inning. Matt working quickly. Brings the 2-1. Another curveball. This one drops a little bit low. Has not thrown Green a fastball yet.
Didn't throw Bradford a fastball in the entire at-bat.
Here's the next one from Easterdane, and that's going to be ball 4 as the shortstop for the Duluth Wildcats walks off, and that's the first base on balls given up by Matt.
We want to send out special wishes to Terry Ballard. That last name may sound a little familiar. Shane, or Red as he's called, is on this team. That's his dad, Terry. He's out of town, has never missed one of Shane's games since fall. Unfortunate he had to miss this one, but we send out the best, and maybe Shane and his teammates can bring home a good result.
And that will bring Brent DuBose, the first baseman, to the plate. Here's Matt bringing the first one. This curveball stays high. Good stop by Lane Floyd. DuBose hit into that double play, the 4-6-3 variety, as he grounded sharply to Brandon Smith, who earned it with Gilstrap, then even higher. Green leads off first. He's down there with 2 outs, though. Matt brings the next one, and that's down low, and suddenly, as sharp as he was to the first 2 hitters, Matt's control starting to leave him a little bit. Not want to make a mistake in the ballpark this side. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. There's the strike called as he catches the inside corner.
And back to the off-speed pitch, which tells you, Bill, that there's a lot more confidence for both Floyd and Easterdane in the curveball than there is in the fastball today.
Evidently, they feel they can get these hitters out with the break. They have. 2-1 the count. Instead, over to first. Diving back is Green, and pretty good move that time by Easterdane.
Fastest pitch he's thrown all inning.
By far. Sun's starting to go down a little bit. Hopefully, within another inning, we'll be able to see. Here's the 2-1. Runner goes. Breaking ball. Fouled out of play, and a break for the Rams as Green had a big jump off of first base and picked a good pitch to run on, being the slow off-speed breaking ball.
Hit, run, play, and DuBose. Oh, a good pitch to hit. Fortunately, though, because it was a curveball, he was under it and popping it back to the screen.
Leaving the count now at 2-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Easterdane checks the runner and fires. Fastball up high in the zone. That'll run the count full, 3-2. So this time Green will definitely be off and running.
The shadows from center field have overtaken home plate, so it must not be nearly as difficult to see the pitcher from home plate as it is from back here.
Ran to the count. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Breaking ball. Hit out to Shorty. He gets the big hop over to first. That'll do it for the Duluth Wildcats. No runs, no hits, no errors. One walk, one left. We head to the top of the fourth inning. Newton Ram still on top by a singleton at 1-0. You're listening to all the exciting action of Newton Ram baseball as they play for the Region 8 Quad A Championship on WGFS. Made possible in part by East Metro Communications, who was selected as AirTouch Cell Dealers Agent of the Year in the small market category. And that's the fourth time they have received this award.
If you Coast to Coast Home and Auto on Monticello Street in downtown Covington. And keep your nose clean. At Coast to Coast Home and Auto, we believe when you buy a new lawnmower, it should come with no strings attached, which is why we are proud to offer a complete line of Toro Super Recycler mowers. If anything goes wrong with a Toro Super Recycler mower within 5 years of normal use, Toro will fix it free. That even includes failure due to normal wear and tear. No other manufacturer makes that claim. Come see us today at Coast to Coast Home and Auto on Monticello Street in downtown Covington for warranty details. We sell the best mowers with the best warranty and no strings attached.
Top half of the fourth inning. This is Newton Ram baseball. Welcome back. The fans are into it. Their team ahead, 1-0. Here's Bill Dolan in the region championship game.
Thank you very much. Kevin Holden is Lane Floyd hits the drive to right field. Going back on his horse, and that ball is off the wall. Floyd ready for it. Heading to second. We got a play there. Floyd in standing up with a ringing double off the right field wall.
One of the first strikes that Lane Floyd has seen in the last couple of days. Floyd has not seen many pitches to hit. And when he did see a pitch to hit, Bill Dolan, he turned on that ball and gave it such a solid ride to right field that it almost rode up and out of here. A field with a normal fence, you may look at a home run there.
That ball was turning over. That is in the hole, and it's going to be a base hit. And Floyd will have to stop at third as he had to hold up. Runners at the corners for the Newton Rams.
Two pitches, two base runners here for Newton. They've come out aggressive just as Duluth did in the first inning. Nice job there base running by Floyd. Had to make sure that Nick Green wasn't going to come up with that one, and he's made some great plays defensively, Green has, so Floyd did have to wait with maybe other shortstops he might have been going with the crack of the bat, but that'll stop him at third. But that means that the bottom four spots in this order, starting with Doyle Baker, will get the chance to perhaps pad this Newton Ram lead.
And the head coach of the Wildcats out talking to Lee Naylor, making sure that everything is okay. We're guessing it's a head coach. It may be a pitching coach, though.
Coach Arendi is the head coach of the Wildcats.
I don't believe that was he. I think that was another coach from their staff. Doyle Baker steps to the plate. Baker, the reason the Rams lead at this point, 1-0. He hit the long fly back in the second inning. Runners lead away. Here's the pitch to Doyle, and he'll take a strike call, the breaking ball, and Doyle falls behind 0-1. Rams with runners at the corners, nobody out. Top of the fourth inning. They tried to add to their slim 1-0 lead. Naylor checks hires at first. Here's the 0-1, and that's a ball. Gets away, and good job of blocking by Chris Reeves, and Stephen unable to advance, and definitely Lane Floyd having to hold at third.
Reeves doing his part to try out, I guess, for a hockey team somewhere in the near future here as he got down in front of that one, let it bounce off the leg and up the first baseline, and then had to keep Hires and Floyd in check.
Would like to have seen Stephen be able to advance to take away the double play and also move into scoring position. 1-1 the count to Bake. Here's the pitch, and that's down, and it's all the way to the backstop. Here comes Floyd. He'll score on this one without a throw. Newton 2, Duluth nothing.
That one got away, and that's where that distance between home plate and the screen played a factor. Floyd, Bill, was able to wait until he was sure that ball was by the catcher and then basically jogged home. Gives you an idea that this place rivals Brookwood and Shiloh for green area between home plate and the backstop.
A tremendous amount, and Chris Reeves didn't really even try to hurry too much because he knew he didn't have a play. Baker with a chance for an RBI, though, as Stephen leads from second. Here's the pitch, and Doyle takes it upstairs. Good job at hitting here by Doyle as he's ahead in the count, 3-1. I'd like to see the Rams get about 4 more before I turn it over to you for the save, Lefty.
We were able to get you a 3-0 lead last time, and you held Shiloh Generals in check, so we hope we can do the same on the reverse tonight.
3-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Bake. swinging a shot down the first baseline. Foul. And off the glove of Brent DeBose, but Baker made a bid for a base hit down the right field line. Runs the count full now at 3-2.
Once again, not changing his swing. You look down at the scorebook. If you weren't here in the second inning and you see the home run, you think Baker may be swinging with an uppercut.
Here's the 3-2. Doyle, little looper, and this ball will be caught right out behind second base, and that one fisted as it jammed. Doyle fought it off, but unable to do anything with it. That'll be the first out of the inning.
Nick Green was able to sprint over to make the catch. He's been everywhere at his shortstop position, ranging to his right, diving, backhanding a ball in the hole earlier, this time to his left to make that play.
Good job by Stephen Hires of making sure he got back to the base, too, because it was pretty obvious that ball was going to be caught. He was well off the bag, had to sprint back to make sure he wasn't doubled off. Gary Gilstrap will hit now with 1 out. Rams up to 4 hits now as they have equaled the output of the Wildcats. Here's the first pitch to Carey. Breaking ball shot right out to Green at short. He'll throws high, throws it away off the screen, and here comes Steven. Here's the throw. He is safe. So the Rams pick up run number 3 on the error by Nick Green, the shortstop. No problem fielding it, but an errant throw.
Tell you what, Bill, nothing really unusual about that play. Nick Green just unable to execute the throw. He got a lot of mustard on that throw as it was well over the first baseman's head and up the line, and the extra foul territory allowed the Rams their 3rd run.
Good job of coaching by Coach Brassfield. He waved Stephen Hires immediately. It was bang, bang at the plate, but he got in ahead of it, and there's my 3 runs, Kevin. Let me see if I can get you a couple more, okay?
Try it.
And Bradley Dobbs shortens up the bunt, and Kerry Gilstrap is going to be safe on a stolen base. And now suddenly everything going right for the Rams. That play that backfired in an earlier game. This time Kerry was going with the pitch, and the catcher threw behind him, and Kerry kept going and ends up with the steal. So just as good as the bunt, Bradley Dobbs missed the bunt attempt. He's behind 0-1, but the Rams with a runner in scoring position again. Here's the 0-1 to Bradley. Curveball shot down the third baseline. Oh, what a play by Green. And he is going to be thrown out at first on a good scoop by DeBose. And Kevin Green took a base hit or maybe a double away from Bradley Dobbs with a good backhand play. Looked for a minute like they almost were going to go after Carey. He was trying to scamper back to second. The second baseman probably not close enough to the bag to make a throw, and then Green almost throws it away, and a good scoop by DeBose.
Yeah, Gilstrap coming down that line very aggressively, and that's good, but he almost got himself thrown out.
Right. And this will be Brandon Smith to the plate. Shorty in his first at bat was hit by a pitch and then was caught stealing on what appeared to be a foiled hit and run, I think. 2 outs now, though. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch to Brandon, and there's another ground ball, this one to the third baseman, and he will tag Kerry Gilstrap out, and that's going to do it on the fielder's choice for the Rams in their half of the 4th inning. They do come up with 2 big runs, though. They did so on 2 hits, 1 huge error by the Duluth Wildcats, and 1 runner left on base. We head now to the bottom of the 4th inning and into try to hold it at bay. Kevin Holden as he'll try to come up with the save. Rams on top 3-0. Newton Ram baseball on WGFS AM 1430. Made possible by the fine folks at East Metro Communication, your leader in cellular service and 2-way radios. And welcome back to Region 8 Quad 8 Championship Baseball. The Newton Rams on top by a score of 3-0 here with the play-by-play and a chance to earn the save, Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much, Bill Dolan. For Duluth here in the 4th inning, Kevin Green, Jay Bear, and Chris Reese. And Bill, as I speak my first words of play-by-play, the sun is set behind a tree. The wide, the first pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. It's your...
No justice, Kevin Holden.
For the first 3.5 innings, we couldn't see anything above the top of the scoreboard because of the sun directly in our eyes, but it's gone now as Duluth in there to hit. 1-0 the count. Kevin Green awaits. He's a pitch up high, ball 2 after Green. He's 6 and 7 spots. Green a strikeout victim. First time, struck out looking.
I wonder if Lane Floyd's having a little trouble seeing right at the moment. That's 2 pitches, once in the warm-ups, and that one that kind of kicked off his glove or got around.
Now you take a look at the Sun, and it's almost on a direct path now with home plate, the 2-0 pitch. It is low, ball 3. And the Sun, as it's setting, the Rays moving from the first base side toward the third base side, and so it's going to be, I think, in a direct line here pretty quick. 3-0 pitch. That one, ball 4, missing perhaps just a little bit low. Easterday coming in at the knees with the fastball.
I don't know where that one missed. It appeared to be pretty close, Kevin, but umpire suddenly with the tight strike zone now.
Umpire probably in that same position. Maybe he's having a little trouble seeing with that sun directly in his eyes. Now they know how it's been for everybody out here in the bleachers. We are sitting in the midst of Newton Ram fans, parents, supporters, among others. First pitch, a curveball. Strike called on the outside corner. Easterday again, first pitch curveball.
And come back and throw that strike after that are on straight pitches previous.
Dave Bear owns one of the 4 Duluth hits. The 0-1 pitch missing up high. Floyd.
Matt has thrown a tremendous amount of curveballs.
Go to first base. Runner is back in. Curveballs, of course, have kept Duluth off balance, but really can't make a living throwing only curveballs. Lane Floyd gives the signal. 1-1 the count. Lefty gets set. They again go to first base. Kevin Green diving once again back.
That really needs to bear down. He does not want to put another hitter on via the base on ball, bringing the tying run to the plate.
Comes the 1-1 offering. Bounced just to Brandon Smith's left and into left field, right field rather, a base hit. That'll be the 5th hit for the Wildcats, and not an exceptionally hard hit ball, but nonetheless, it'll look like a line drive. That's a base hit. 2 on, no one out for Duluth as they mount probably their biggest rally so far in this game.
Brandon Smith was cheating more up towards the middle and was unable to get over and get that ball. Like you said, not too hard, not hit too hard, but once again, that runner down second base is there via the base on balls, and that's the ones that can come back to haunt you.
Green at second, Bear at first. No one out. We'll bring up Chris Reeves. Reeves reaching on a fielder's choice his last time, advanced to second. Duluth has left 4 men on here in 3 innings, so Lane Floyd will go out and discuss things with Matt Easterday and say, let's leave 2 more out there on the base pass.
I'd settle for 1 if they could turn the double play. Let's see if you can't get a double play.
Sounds good to me. What that Ram infield can do, they've turned 1 already tonight, 1 double play that is. Starting with Brandon Smith and going to the young shortstop, Kerry Gilstrap. Ram regular shortstop, Easterday deals, and this one is fouled off directly behind the Newton Ram bleachers. It will land out of play.
That was the first pitch fastball that time, Kevin, and good idea after starting so many hitters with the breaking ball. The hitter was a little bit behind on it and unable to catch up. Watch for the curveball here, though.
Floyd flashes the signal, setting him close to the outside part. It's low and outside, ball 1. At the speed kind of a fastball, may have been a cut fastball. It appeared to ride a little bit away from right-hander Chris Reeves. On deck, Dave Mendig and then Ryan Ivey, so the Rams have the benefit of facing the bottom third of the order here with 2 men on and no one out.
Broadcast is protected under broadcast rights granted by Newton Ram Baseball and WGFS Radio, and is produced solely for the pleasure of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Newton Ram Baseball and WGFS Radio is strictly prohibited. The announcers are employed by WGFS.
You refer to that as a disclaimer. I refer to it as a refreshment drink. Build in those things into your broadcast. You know what I mean? First and second, and a 1-1 count to Reeves. Rams with 1 run in the second, 2 more in the fourth, clinging to the 3-run lead. A 1-1 pitch, curveball, swing and a miss. Pulled the string a little extra on that one. It's 1-2.
What a pitch by Matt Easterday. Once again, he's got these hitters off balance. They're still up there looking fastball, and he's throwing predominantly curveballs. And he really pulled the string on Chris Reeves. Reeves about 3 feet out in front of that one.
After the slow curveball, it'll be the responsibility of the Rams to try to get another one past Reed. Stretch in the 1-2 pitch. Another curveball. Floyd never touched it. It's back to the screen. The runners move up one base each. They're now at second and third. Lane Floyd never even got a glove on that ball. My guess is there was a mix-up of signs there.
And he's looking over at Coach Joe Brassfield. Lane Floyd completely fooled by that pitch. And something, I'm not sure what happened there. Kind of hard to call that one because they have to go as a pass ball because it appears though Lane should have probably caught the ball, I think.
Wondering if they were crossed up. Joe Brassfield not happy with what happened on that play as Floyd never even got a glove on that ball and it was right there close to the outside corner. 2-2 pitch. He went after it, perhaps. They're going to check the first base umpire who says he went. And they're going to have to throw him out at first base. Lane Floyd's throw is in time. Reeves hurt by the fact that the home plate umpire had to ask the first base umpire to see if he went around. And once the first base umpire punched him out, that's when Reeves could go to first base. So he's hurt there. That's one down.
And Coach Brassfield's going to come out. There appears to be some kind of miscommunication suddenly, kind of an odd time in the ballgame in the fourth inning for this to happen. But a huge break, like you say, there for the Rams. That ball kicking away from Floyd, and the home plate umpire wasn't sure on the swing when they asked for the appeal. They got it. I mean, to me, it was pretty obvious he had gone from our vantage. Unfortunately, the first base umpire did punch him out. Lane did a good job taking his time, studying, making a good, strong throw, making sure the runner could not try to score from third base.
And Floyd had all day, too, because Reeves had not left the batter's box or was walking, actually, back toward the Duluth dugout when he was punched out and took off for first base. So Floyd had till tomorrow to throw out the Duluth catcher, and he did. Strikeout, 2-3 put out. One down, but 2 men in scoring position. Brassfield's conference is over. Whatever he had to say to his Ram players, they hopefully will heed here as they face P.J. Bendig. Rams were unsuccessful in retiring Bendig last time. A single for him. First pitch is on the way. Fastball is lined on one hop. Smith with a nice play. He'll get the out. The Rams will concede the run. It's 3-1, but Brandon Smith handles the sizzling ground ball in good shape.
And the Rams were conceding the run immediately. It's a good thing they did because that's a base hit that scores 2 runs if they're playing in. And a good call by Coach Brassfield. With a 3-run lead, you can do that. He had to run the infielders in the middle back. They were up at the corners, and that ball hit like a rocket shot. And if you think about it, if Shorty's playing in, that ball's in the hole easily for a base hit, but instead he's able to lay back and good glove and throw, and only 1 run scores. They can get out of it with only 1 run here. Easterday can retire this hitter.
He did last time via the strikeout. Ryan Ivey looking for the bunt and misses the pitch for the first strike. Curveball is not an easy pitch to bunt, and Ivey never got his bat squarely out there to meet the ball.
Kind of a strange play with 2 outs. I guess they figured they had the Rams laying back a little bit, but almost picked the runner off third base as he appeared to be coming.
Now the 0-1 offering. Another curveball. Strike called. Inside corner. Home plate umpire took a little time thinking before he called strike 2 there. Rams may have caught a break with that pitch. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Easterday. Fastball swung on and lined and hard to right field. Back on it goes Lee. Still going back. He looks up at the wall. It's gone. And we have a tie ball game. Ryan Ivey, the number 9 batter in the order, was bunting. Good thing they let him swing away as he drives one way out to right center field. We're tied at 3 apiece.
I didn't think you could go on to the field of play until, well, they were still coming home.
What you're referring to is the Duluth Wildcats coming out of the dugout and lining up along the third base line to high 5 or low 5, depending on how you look at it. The runner, as he was going around third base, I think we saw some problems with that with the Shiloh Generals, but that was on a ball that was in play, not a home run.
They actually stepped across into fair territory. Some of them did in high 5.
2-run shot. Ties this thing at 3 apiece. Jeff Bradford. First pitch to him. Didn't miss by much. It's a little low. Ball 1.
And once again, you look back, the leadoff walk comes around to score. How often does that happen, Kevin?
He came around on that ground out by P.J. Bendig. 1-0 pitch. A curveball missing outside. Ball 2. Important for Easterday to rebound. Takes a look in. pitch swung on and tapped foul. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bradford, who is 1 for 2. And last time up saw nothing but curveballs and looked nothing but bad on them as he struck out.
He didn't look too good on that curveball there as he barely got a piece of it. And throwing the sharp breaking curveball, dropping down in the strike zone, and Bradford just barely got a piece of it. It looked like he got a piece of Lane Floyd, too.
They threw Bradford nothing but a steady diet of curveballs in his last at bat. What they give him here. 2 down, the 2-1 pitch. Curveball line on 1 hop. Gilstrap is there, but it gets past him. Going to have a tough throw. It is not in time. Bradford reaches. Kerry Gilstrap looked away. He looked toward left field as that ball came in. It was hit that hard that that instinct to look away took over Kerry Gilstrap, and it rolled away just enough for Bradford to reach.
And he will reach on the air. That ball, Kerry kind of let it eat him up. And play he probably should have made, but when you haven't played shortstop much, it's kind of understandable how you can look away. Rams need to recover quickly from this now and go ahead and get on in there and bat and try to regain the lead.
They need to get out number 3. Scott Barber sets. He is 0 for 2. Runner faking the go with the first pitch, and it's a strike. 0-1. Remember that the Rams had so much trouble getting out number 3. The game against the Shiloh Generals, a 1-run game in which they gave up 10 runs finally before they could get that 3rd out. Hope that this thing will not be as hard to retire out for out number 3. Thought about going at the 0-1, tails outside, ball 1.
Kind of interesting, Kevin. Both home runs hitting the ball game, both opposite field shots, and almost to the identical spot, and almost the identical type of hit. Not hit real high, almost kind of a line drive that got out of here.
1-1 runner is going, and this one's hit high and deep to right center field. Jarvis Johnson goes back. He looks up. This one will be off the base of the wall. Duluth will have the lead. Stopping at second base is Scott Barber. Bradford comes around to score, and the Duluth Wildcats have made an outburst. Here in the 4th, they lead by a run.
Of course, that will be an unearned run, but any way you look at it, it's still a run on the scoreboard. And Coach Brassfield coming out of the dugout, have not seen whether anyone went down to the bullpen. There's only one bullpen here, Kevin. It's all the way on the other side of the Duluth dugout. And looks like we're going to get Jeremy Johnson going down there now to loosen up. And Josh Millwood's going to take them about 10 minutes to find their way through the crowd to get down there and loosen up. Coach Brassfield will take plenty of time out there on the mound. In fact, now he's going to call Kerry Gilstrap in. And Matt Easterday made that pitch a little too good again, and the ball hit very hard towards right center field.
That ball hit farther up in the air than the one that Ivy hit to get out of here, and I thought for a moment that Duluth would have their second 2-run home run of the inning.
Pretty close to it. It's really tough to tell once the ball leaves where it's going here. Our line of sight is not very good, actually, and looking through the screen, it's hard to pick the ball up at times, and I was afraid, like you, Kevin, for a minute that ball was out of here.
Fortunately for Newton, it did stay in the ballpark out there around the 345 sign, just right of center field. Barber's at second base, and Nick Green has had a perfect night. Next hitter. They'll try to extend this 4th inning in which the Wildcats have already plated 4. Plated 1 on a ground out, 2 on Ryan Ivy's 2-run blast, a double by Scott Barber scoring the 4th run.
That blast by Ivy is the one that really hurt 9th place hitter. And Matt had made him look kind of bad and suddenly just made a pitch too good. Got to wonder if perhaps he's starting to wear out a little bit.
First pitch, a curveball missing up high to Nick Green. 1 ball, no strike. So as Johnson warms up, this means that Easterday is probably in for at least the next hitter or 2. So hopefully he can get this man out while Johnson heats up. Another fastball, just a little high, 2-0.
That pitch looked pretty good. Evidently, they called it just a little bit high. Suddenly, this umpire squeezing a little bit on Matt.
2-0 pitch is on the way. The off speed, and that also is high. 3 balls, no strikes to the number 3 hitter, Nick Green. You got a cleanup man on deck in Brent Dubose.
I don't think Matt wants to face the lefty either with 2 runners on and already trailing by a run now. And evidently the ball carrying a little better to right field. If you look at the flag, it seems to be actually blowing that way just a little bit.
Now the 3-0 pitch in the dirt, ball 4. 3rd walk for Matt Easterday, and Joe Brassfield can only hope that either Easterday can retire this hitter Brent DuBose, or that Johnson is warming up quickly in that bullpen.
Well, Jeremy usually heats up pretty well, and it's not a very cool night. In fact, it's very comfortable out there. Probably still about 65 degrees out here, so hopefully Jeremy can get ready in a hurry.
First and second for the Wildcats. Bose is 0 for 2. At Easterday, who's cruising along, has hit a bump in the road in the fourth here. First pitch to DuBose. In the dirt, Floyd keeps it in front. Ball one, the runners will stay put.
Kevin, I think you have to believe that if Matt does not hit DuBose here, this will be his last hitter.
Easterday, who was throwing so many strikes in the first two innings, nothing but strikes almost, has walked 2 in this inning, and this is the 9th man to bat for Duluth. Pitch, and here is the 1-0 offering. Swing and a miss. Nice fastball located at the knees.
Good pitch by Matt Easterday. Fastball down at the knees. Very tough for that lefty to get around on that pitch, and he did a great job of getting back in the count. He needs to make another good pitch here.
Another Green, Kevin Green on deck. His curveball misses up high. And Easterday apparently not getting the snap on that breaking ball right now. That can be dangerous in a ballpark like this. If you don't get that snap and you miss high and that ball tails out over the plate and hangs to a cleanup batter, it would be a 4-run Duluth lead very quickly. 2-1 pitch. There is that curveball, but it's bounced toward Brandon Smith. And he throws to first base in time. So Matt Easterday does retire the Wildcats, but not before they push 4 across. Doing so on 3 hits. There was 1 Newton error leading to a run. 2 men were left on base. So we have played 4 complete in the region championship game from Duluth High School. And right now it's Duluth 4, Newton 3. Ram baseball on WGFS in this region championship game, like all others, brought to you by East Metro Communications, your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment. Rocky start.
Playoff action. Rams suddenly trail by 1 here to try to get some runs for the Rams. Kevin Holden.
Top half of the 5th inning, we'll see Jarvis Johnson first. After that, Ryan Moon steps to the plate, and then Matt Easterday. Johnson swings at the first pitch. That's a base hit in the right center field. Headed for the gap, and it could be more. Here goes Johnson around first. He heads for 2, and we'll pull up there. Wide turn at second base, and safe as the throw in almost got him. DuBose all the way over from his first base position to cover. Good fundamental baseball. But on the first pitch of the 5th inning, Rams have a runner in scoring position.
Jarvis really jumped on that pitch and laced it into that right center field gap. I thought for a minute he was going to go for 3, and that's why he was so far off the bag. And probably a good thing he didn't is good execution by the Wildcats. And looks like we're going to get a pitching change that quick, Kevin.
In a game like this, with a region championship on the line, and obviously it's probably going to come down the last couple innings and who can execute in those last innings, the hook becomes that much quicker. So after 1 pitch in the 5th inning, after you've been given a 4-3 lead, you throw 1 pitch and you get pulled from the game. So you have to feel bad for young Lee Naylor. But Naylor is gone, and as Duluth changes pitchers, going to take this pitching change break. Ram baseball on WGFS, AM 1430, brought to you by East Metro Communications, your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
Next time you...
Welcome back to the bleachers at Duluth High School. It's Newton Ram baseball. 1 pitch into the 5th inning. The Rams have knocked the starting pitcher Lee Naylor out. Here to tell you about the new pitcher and the Rams' quest to not to score and take the lead. Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much, Bill Dolan. Naylor is out. John Garamone is in. Jeremy Johnson is warm and ready to enter the game as he passed directly by us. So we know for a fact that he is set to go. Garamone, another right-hander, will face Ryan Moon. Lee Naylor giving up 3 runs so far, 2 earned, facing 19 batters in 4+ innings. Garamone winds and delivers, and Moon fouls 1 off to the right, out of play, down the first baseline, 0-1. Moon is 1 for 2, but he's reached base twice.
Good cut by Plug on that pitch. Just didn't quite get around on it, but he was looking for the fastball and made a good cut on it.
Naylor allowed 5 hits, Bill, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts for the starter. Being listed for another right-hander here. Moon looking for the bunt, but the pitch way high and tight, and so Moon pulls it back.
Ram dugout starting to whoop it up a little bit. The fans here, quite a few, a large number of Ram fans on hand here driving this long drive to Duluth.
Nice to see that, and it is a long, long trek from Covington all the way up to Duluth High School. A ball and a strike, and again, Moon squares to bunt. The pitch is there, and Moon gets the bunt down. That'll advance the runner. Garamone will go to first for the out, but Johnson now at third base. And last night, Bill, very interesting that this was brought up in a conversation with Ryan Moon. We were discussing the Rams maybe needing to bunt a little bit more in situations where they wanted to get a runner across, and the person we were having the discussion with was the man laying the bunt down.
He laid down the perfect bunt, as there was no chance at all to get Jarvis Johnson down at third. Garamore kind of whirled that way and actually kind of put himself in a little bit of danger, as he could have thrown himself off when he went to make the throw. He did end up making a good throw to first base, so Plug with a sacrifice and Jarvis down to third.
Now Easterday and Floyd can drive him in. You like your chances? There's a drive to right field. Going back on that ball, going still back, gone! See you later. That Easterday has put the Rams on top 5-4 as he drives the ball deep into the right and right center field. The Rams with the one-run lead, and Bill Dolan and Matt Easterday's power spot, right center, is where he chooses to push one over the fence. Perhaps he's broken out of that mini slump that he has been in the postseason.
And he got all of that one, Kevin. As soon as he hit it, you got a pretty good idea it was going to get out of here with the short fence and right, well, actually the tall fence, but the short distance to the fence. And he blasted it to right center field. So the sacrifice goes for naught, but the Rams have quickly regained the lead.
Of course, you can't play for the home run. If you do that, a lot of times you'll lose games. So you like the fact that Brassfield was playing to get one run. Just call it a benefit that the ball was hit high and deep.
Well, I think Matt was actually trying to drive the ball into the outfield, get at least the sac fly, and of course, a lot of times that's when you get the home run.
Again, not an uppercut by Easterday. Floyd taking a pitch low.
Well, Kevin, remember last year when Matt hit, 6 home runs from the leadoff spot quite a few times, and what happened was most of the time he wasn't trying to hit the home run, just trying to drive the ball to the opposite field, to right center field, and the ball got out of here, just like that one did.
Keep that front side of your body in. It gives you a little more power sometimes. And Easterday, a great example of that. Floyd sees another pitch outside, 2-0. Remember what he did last time, driving a ball for a double that was the hardest hit ball, I think, of this game, more so than the 3 home runs that have been hit.
May not see a strike this time.
2-0. Below the knees low, ball 3. They came inside to Floyd with that pitch, so you know this much. You can pretty much cut off the inner half of the plate. Things will not be headed in that direction if Duluth has their way. If they do throw it in there, it'll be a mistake. 3-0. That's on the outside corner for strike 1.
Hopefully, if Lane sees that outside pitch, he'll do what he's been doing earlier this year and take it to the left center. He has enough power to drive it out of the park.
1 offering on the way, swings and bounces one toward the first baseman. Dubose is there. A couple of steps to run to the bag, and that's out number 2. As Floyd again tried to get on top of that ball and pull it.
Probably a pitch earlier in the year he was taking the other way or taking up the middle. Instead, he really tried to turn on it and weakly dribbled it to the first baseman, Dubose.
2 down. Stephen Hires, who's 1 for 2, will step up. Rams have stepped up here, 5th inning. Coming up with the 2 spot to retake the lead. They gave up 4 runs in the bottom half of the 4th, but they have come back. Curveball didn't get the snap. It almost hit Hires high and tight. 1 ball, no strikes.
I have a good idea. Let's change the wing-ding inning from the 3rd inning.
It has been awful, and the 5th inning has been tremendous for wingdings. There's no doubt about that. We will discuss that between now and state playoff time. Hires bouncing the ball toward the shortstop. Green backhanded in the hole. That talented shortstop throwing out Stephen Hires, the 3rd out. But the Newton Rams getting a little bit of a cheer from the fans as they come across with 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors, no one left on base. The Newton Rams head for the bottom half of inning number 5. Now with a 1-run lead, 5-4. It is Newton Ram baseball on WGFS, brought to you in part by East Metro Communications, selected as AirTouch Cellular's Agent of the Year in the small market category. That's the 4th time that East Metro has received that award.
Whooping it up from Duluth. Duluth High School, the Newton Rams have come back and have regained the lead via the long ball off the bat of Matt Easterday, who now takes the mound and tries to keep them at bay. Here to help them along in the bottom half of the fifth inning, Kevin Holden.
We certainly hope that the Newton Ram in the field fifth inning is a little better than the Newton Ram in the field fourth inning, where they gave up 4 runs on 3 hits and a Newton Ram error. I'd like to see this fifth inning proceed somewhat more smoothly.
I have to wonder how long Coach Brassfield will go with Matt if he struggles in this inning. He's got a couple of pitchers that have warmed already, I think, and he may be ready with the quick hook.
Kevin Green leads off. The first pitch to him is high, ball 1. Green led off last inning, receiving a base on balls, coming around to score on P.J. Bendig's ground out. A walk that comes around to score. Imagine that. Swinging a bouncer foul, third base side. Moon ventures 10, 15 feet into foul territory to make the backhanded play. Talk about a competitor. He's getting any practice he can down there.
Even chasing the ball well into foul territory. The other side of the third base coach. I believe if I was the third base coach, I'd have to bend down and just kind of scoop it away from him.
Now they have an idea of Moon's range out there. 1-1 pitch, slow curve, swing and a miss, 1-2. That curve a little higher than a lot of Easterday's curveballs, but got it enough break on it where he got a swing and a miss from Green.
Kind of scary when it's up that high, though, Kevin.
1-2 pitch. Sets up outside another curveball, but that's way up high this time, about letter high, 2-2.
And you hate to see those things hanging up there, particularly where you can start reading the label as a hitter, because normally you don't find those baseballs.
2 pitch. Here it is. Off speed. It's popped up. It's behind the press box. It'll be out of play. Duluth High School, the site of the Region Championship, 1997 style. Good to have you folks in for it this evening. An exciting ball game, 5-4 in the 5th. Wine. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That one in the dirt outside, looking to get Green to chase that, 3-2.
Rams have been out hit 7-6, but lead by a score of 5-4.
Economizing with the hits, taking the walks and taking advantage.
A couple of long balls off the bat of Baker and Easterday.
Another signal, another wind. Payoff pitch. This one bounced over by the Duluth dugout. Moon goes in that direction, but he's not going to venture that far. Not over by about 15 white jerseys down there. He'll stay put.
That one fielded by one of the Wildcat players right near the on-deck circle.
Another payoff pitch is due, as Kevin Green has battled in this at-bat. 3-2 pitch, fastball, strike 3 call, right down the pipe. Kevin Green has been struck out. He was taking his motion toward first base, but that's the second time in 3 trips to the plate that he has seen strike 3 pass without swinging.
That pitch in the vicinity of the outside corner, about the knees. Actually, Matt Easterday may have gotten a bit of a break there. That pitch appeared to maybe be just a hair low, Kevin. But guess what? It's an out on the scoreboard right now.
The umpire calls it strike 3, and his is the one opinion that counts. Outside with the first pitch, ball 1 to Bear. It was 2 for 2 with a run scored. Bear has done his job tonight. Pair of singles.
That pitch may have been a little equalizer. It looked pretty good.
Fastball, this time a few inches below the knees, 2-0.
I think Coach Brassfield would love for Matt to be able to get through this 5th inning, because Jeremy, I think, is most effective going 2 innings or less.
Comes that 2-0 pitch, and that's high and outside, ball 3. Easterday behind 3-0, not helping his cause to be able to stay in here in the 5th. He did strike out Green looking, but remember the high curveballs that he threw, high, slow curveballs. 3-0 pitch. That's low, ball 4. On 4 pitches, Easterday walks his 4th hitter of this game. And so we'll see what happens with Reeves, Bendig, and Ivy coming up. Remember, Ivy took an Easterday pitch deep to right center field for a home run last inning, so I have a feeling if Easterday isn't successful against these next 2 hitters, you might see a little different look for Ivy this time.
I believe you're right, Kevin. Hopefully he can work around this walk. They softballs. If you remember, in the Central Gwinnett game, he did not walk a hitter, and that made all the difference in the world.
Reeves swings and lines one to right field. Coming on is Ryan Lee. He can't make the play. That one's going to bounce off the wall. Around second is Bear, heads for third. They're going to hold him there. Stand-up double for Reeves, but getting the ball back in quickly from the outfield, the Rams are able to keep both runners out there in scoring position and not across the plate.
And that looks like that's going to be it as we see Jeremy Johnson trot onto the field.
Matt Easterday's night will be through, at least on the mound. I have a feeling he'll be headed to shortstop. Jeremy Johnson will come in and see what he can do with this Duluth Wildcat team. Ram baseball on WGFS, the region championship from Duluth High School, brought to you by the folks at East Metro Communications. They've been a cellular agent for 10 years, making them the oldest cellular dealer in this area and one of AirTouch Cellular's oldest agencies.
Welcome back to the bleachers at Duluth High School. The Rams in trouble. They've made a pitching change. Here to tell you about the new pitcher and hopefully keep them at bay, Kevin Holden.
All right, Bill Dolan, thank you very much. Easterday out of the game, or out from the pitcher's mound and out to a shortstop position where he's used to being. Jeremy Johnson into the game. Bill, when the Newton Rams have needed outs, the man they have gone to is Jeremy Johnson. And they've done this throughout the year. He was the closer and then started some games when the region time came, but now with the region championship going on, they go back to their stopper, Jeremy Johnson.
And kind of an interesting situation here. Matt Easterday will be the winner, also be the loser. He can end up with no decision. It all depends on what number 31 can do on the mound for the Newton Rams.
Two runners on base, and how they score or don't score will determine the outcome of Easterday's decision in this affair. E.J. Bendig and Ryan Ivey, 8 and 9 in the order. Usually, Bill, 8 and 9 hitters have a little more trouble with certain things, such as swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. Another thing they may have trouble with is a little different look. And Jeremy Johnson throwing from the side, I think, would be very effective against the lower end of a lot of orders.
It's going to be very important for him to throw strikes. Remember, in the game Saturday night, Jeremy not getting any calls, really struggled, did not get a batter out.
Very important inning. Jeremy Johnson faced 10 batters without receiving an out. And infield will be in. First pitch on the way to Bendig. Just off the outside corner. Ball one as Johnson throwing that ball that has movement away from the righty.
Appeared to have some pretty good gas on it too, but just off the corner. Good looking pitch though for his first offer.
Bendig is 1 for 2. Ryan Ivey also 1 for 2 on deck. Swing and a miss. And an off-speed pitch by Johnson evens the count.
That pitch appeared to be well out of the strike zone, but it had so much movement on it that Bendig went chasing after it and unable to come up with it.
Johnson, the right-hander, replacing Easterday, the right-hander. Brings home the 1-1 offering, and that one, Floyd keeps it in front. He can't find it. Now he does. And the runners will stay put. That pitch was in the dirt, ball 2.
And Floyd with a great stop and didn't even realize he had made it, looking all over the place and finally getting help from Jeremy where the ball was.
Ball popped up straight up in the air, and that's, I think, why Floyd missed that. Jay Bear at third, Chris Reeves at second, 1 down. Rams lead by 1, but is that ever tentative right now? Johnson to the belt, and he delivers. Swing and a miss. Inside pitch that time, 2-2. Dustin Peck heads for the Newton Ram bullpen, so the left-hander will be warming up.
And, of course, going with him, Mighty Mouse himself, Josh Millwood, down to warm him up.
2-2 the count. Floyd off the outside corner. 2-2 and there. Swing and a miss. Jeremy Johnson comes in, and as just as we mentioned, when you've needed the big out, that's the man to get it. A strikeout this time for Johnson.
And that's a huge strikeout because now that makes 2 outs, and the infield can go back to normal depth. And balls that may have shot through, the infield will be able to cut off and get the runner out at first, and perhaps the Rams can get out of this still with that slim 1-run lead.
You raise the hitter's average probably about 40 or 50 points when you bring that infield in. That won't be the case against Ryan Ivey. He took one deep last time. Takes a look at one this time that the Ram fans believe to be strike 1, but it is not. It's ball 1.
Pretty good looking pitch, Kevin, and maybe a centimeter low, and the umpire failed to punch it up.
Johnson coming in with 1 down and 2 in scoring position. Here's the 1-0 pitch in the dirt again. Floyd keeping that man at third base, how vitally important in so many situations has it been for Floyd blocking balls in the dirt.
This is really the man that Jeremy, I think, wants to get. He doesn't want to go around to the top of the order and face Jeff Bradford again.
What that means is you'll probably see some strikes here. The 2-0 offering, swinging a mini pop fly, shallow in the outfield. It's going to bounce in. That's a hit. 1 run will score. Kerry Gilstrap's throw goes through, but not in time. Taking second on the throw is Ivy. And every time the Newton Rams take a lead, they have to get through Ryan Ivy. And they haven't been able to make it through him without a lead yet. He put the Wildcats up one time with a 2-run home run. Now puts them up again with a 2-run single, taking second on the throw, and probably about 120 feet for that base hit.
Oh, what a terrible break for the Rams. Jeremy made a great pitch, jammed it right in on the hands, and just looping over the head of Brandon Smith. You saw Shorty running full tilt, just couldn't get to it. So Matt Easterday can no longer be the winner, but now can only stand to be the loser.
Now the bats are alive. As between the two teams in the last 2 full innings, we've seen 10 runs scored after seeing only 1 between the two teams in the first 3 innings. Back to the top of the order and Jeff Bradford. Bradford, 1 for 3. This one is past Floyd. He can't find it. Around second is Ivy. He'll stop at third. Floyd just now getting to the ball with all that room behind home plate. 1 ball, no strikes. That one, Floyd unable to keep in front. Wild pitch on Johnson. Duluth on top by 1. I think if the Rams can keep that man at third base, their chances increase drastically. They've been hitting much better now in the last 2 innings, and if they can keep that up, they can reclaim the lead. They've given it up.
How do you explain a 9th place hitter driving in 4 runs off you?
1-0 pitch from Johnson. Low and outside in the dirt. Floyd keeping it in front again. The Wildcats made it to the region championship apparently because they, like the Rams, have a strong top-to-bottom lineup. Rams have a number 8 hitter who's hit 2 home runs in the postseason after making his varsity debut the game before the postseason. The 2-0 pitch, strike called outside corner. Johnson painted it perfectly, 2-1.
That gets a round of applause from the fans here in the bleachers.
They're looking for something to cheer about right now, and these last couple of batters have not been cheerful ones for the folks down the first base side for the Rams. The 2-1 offering is bounced and rolled very slowly toward Ryan Moon. Going to be a tough play. Up and a throw, and they got him. Ryan Moon, solid fielding third baseman, started the year at second, but he has done the job, and he gets Bradford here for out number 3. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. 5 complete from Duluth High School. Duluth is on top, 6-5, with the Rams, with Doyle Baker coming up, and don't put anything past Mr. Baker. Newton Ram Baseball on WGFS, the Region Championship. Brought to you by the folks at East Metro Communications. They've been a cellular agent for 10 years. Makes them the oldest cellular dealer in this area and one of AirTouch Cellular's oldest agencies.
Add strings attached.
And welcome back to Duluth High School, coming to you live from the bleachers. It's the Newton Rams falling behind now as we head to the 6th inning. Only by a singleton, though, as a new pitcher comes in to pitch for the Duluth Wildcats. And I believe his name is Singleton.
His name most certainly is Bill Dolan. And we're bringing you play-by-play of the Newton Rams and Duluth Wildcats. The winner of this game will stay at home for the first round of the state tournament, taking on the number 2 seed from 7 Quad A. The Newton Rams, of course, would hope for the win. They'll be able to go back to Riverside Park. Whoever loses this game has to go on the road in the first round of the state. Justin Singleton is into the game for the Wildcats. And he will face Doyle Baker, Kerry Gilstrap, and Bradley Dobbs. 6-5, Duluth with the lead. It has changed hands 3 different times. Baker, a liner, but it's caught by the second baseman, Jeff Bradford. Well hit ball, but right at the Duluth second baseman.
Doyle Baker hits one dead on the nose, but right at the second baseman for the Wildcats. And there, half an inning, Ivy hits a little bloop off the fifth that drops in and drives in 2 runs. Sometimes you think there is no justice.
The game of inches sometimes not kind to the Newton Rams.
And Jeremy Johnson would like to say hey to his granny out there in listening to the ball game on WGFS.
And the Rams have a base runner. And these Rams fans are into it now in the 6th inning, behind it on every play, right behind us and making some noise.
Break for the Rams there as the pitcher, Justin Singleton, went to field the ball. His feet slipped a little bit, and by the time he could throw it down safely, easily at first base was Kerry Gilstrap. The umpire took all day to make the call. I thought we were going to get another one of those. I can't believe this. And had he called him out, I think Coach Stanley Allen would be heading for the bus right now.
Stanley Allen would take a page out of a football book and would have put some kind of block move, I think, on the first base umpire. But Gilstrap well safe at first base, and now it's up to Dobbs and Smith to advance him and score him. That's the potential tying run out there. First pitch on the way, Dobbs gets a piece and lines it back right into the Newton Ram dugout. Dustin Peck jumping for dear life as that ball got caught in the screen.
Almost got a piece of Dustin Peck.
Dustin was alert down there. Stretch in the 0-1 pitch, swinging and missing is Dobbs at the shoulder-high fastball. Being challenged by Singleton and couldn't come up with it. 0-2.
A little bit over-anxious again. We've seen Bradley exhibit that in the last couple times he's played, and he needs to settle down and not help the pitcher out by swinging the pitches out of the zone.
Gilstrap again leads away. Nothing going, and Dobbs lays off this time. 1-2. 6 runs and 9 hits, 2 errors for the Wildcats. Your Newton Rams, 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Top of the 6th. Region 8 Quad A's championship on the line in these next 2 innings of baseball. Go to first base. Gilstrap will dive back in. What a thrill for Bradley Dobbs. Playing JV ball most of the year to come up and be able to contribute at this level. 1-2 pitch, gets a piece of it. First baseman DuBose gives chase, but it's out of play.
That would have been nice to see that stick just inside the stripe down the right field line and move Kerry all the way around to third or so, wouldn't it, Kevin?
Most certainly, for the Newton Rams, they would have enjoyed having that ball drop. Dobbs 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. 1-2 pitch to him, swings and pops it up. We have a chance at this one, Bill, as it will probably fall just out of play. It's the top of the screen. In fact, the screen here at Duluth High School goes up and then just slants in, and that kept the Duluth catcher, Chris Reeves, from catching that pop fly, so the screen that slants in actually helps Dobbs and the Rams.
It certainly does, because that ball would have come down in play, and the catcher was there. He hustled back, and Bradley Dobbs gets new life, and I hope he'll take advantage of it right here.
If he cannot, Brandon Smith on deck. We'll see what he can do. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Singleton takes a look in, brings it home, swing and a miss. An off-speed pitch. Dobbs was not ready for that. Second strikeout for him of the game. Rams have only struck out 3 times tonight, but they do trail, 2 down.
And it's going to be up to Shorty to get the 2-out hit. Keep this inning going for the Rams. If he can keep it going, it'll be around to the top of the order in Jarvis Johnson.
Smith is 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Ended up caught stealing on an unintentional pitch out, a curveball that became a pitch out essentially. You go to first base, and Gilstrap will be back in. Smith also reached on a fielder's choice. Gilstrap was retired 5 unassisted to end the 4th. Reeves with the signal, Singleton with the stretch and the first pitch. Smith, a big cut, but he comes up short, 0-1.
Way behind that fastball. In fact, it appeared the ball was already in the mid before Brandon swung at that one, Kevin.
Bradley Singleton does a good job of mixing up speeds on his pitches. Had Dobbs way out in front of the off-speed. Here, Smith behind the fastball. They'll go at it again. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Low with the fastball. Evens it up.
And Shorty with a good eye there. He's done a good job of doing that throughout this series. Several walks to his credit, adding to his on-base average. And a walk here would be very helpful to bring up Jarvis. Runners moving along.
1-1 2-1 pitch taken. That's a strike. Around the belt, 1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
Very unusual to see a high strike called, and that probably the highest pitch we've seen called a strike. That one appeared to be above the belt, but this time he called it a strike.
Greg Gilstrap, after his single, is still at first base, taking his lead, taking the go. Pitch is high and outside, and up immediately is Reeves, looking Gilstrap back to the bag. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 runs by the Rams in the 4th and in the 5th, but 2 runs by the Wildcats in the 5th put them back on top. Rams wouldn't mind a 2-bagger adding to this deuce thing.
Or a 2-run homer.
Would also be nice for the Rams. There's a swing and a bouncer to the third baseman. Kevin Green, he'll go to second. They have the force play there, and the Rams retired here in the 6th. The fortunate thing for the Rams, they will have the top of the order coming up in the last inning. The bad thing about it is, though, they don't score here. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Ram baseball, after 5.5 innings of play, with Duluth on top by a run, is brought to you by East Metro Communications, selected as AirTouch Cellular's Agent of the Year in a small market category. It's the 4th time they've received that award.
And welcome back to Duluth High School. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Rams trail by 1. Here with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
The Newton Rams trying to hold the Duluth Wildcats here. Got a tough part of the order due up, starting with second hitter Scott Barber. Takes a look at a pitch low. Barber is 1 for 3 with a double, a fly out, and a ground out. Jeremy Johnson, his first full inning of work. He winds and brings home the 1-0. That one is low, ball 2.
Really critical that Jeremy holds them here in the 6th inning, Kevin, so that the lead doesn't get to any more than 1 run. With a 1-run lead, you feel like the top of the order, the Rams can come back and tie it or even take it.
2-0 pitch, swinging, bounces it foul. Down the third base side, 2 balls, 1 strike. Important for Johnson to throw strikes in this inning. Don't want to fall behind any hitters here. Already the lead very slim. On a night like tonight, don't put runners on base. You never know what could happen with the middle of that order. 2-1 pitch. Going on and line toward Brandon Smith. It ate him up, and he is not going to be able to retire Scott Barber. That one rolling along the ground literally until it hit Smith, and then took this high hop. And reaching will be Scott Barber on the unfortunate luck for Smith.
Tough break for Shorty, but we're going to call that an error on the play. That'll be the 2nd error of the night for the Rams. Speaking of good plays, though, the play that ended the 5th inning, where Plug had to come in, glove, and throw. Stephen Hires did a great job of helping him out. He was stretched out completely. I think that made the difference in getting that runner at first base.
Now here's Nick Green. Green 1 for 1 with a pair of walks. Johnson missing just off the outside corner, ball 1, and Jeremy Johnson, of course, not the hardest thrower, so has to rely on location. Maybe trying to be a little bit too fine here in the early going of this inning.
Part of that problem on that ball, Shorty, he laid back on it again and it kind of ate him up. They started charging a little bit.
Runners going. The ball is hit to Ryan Moon. That takes away the out at second. Throw to first. Hires did stay on the bag, and that throw almost pulled Hires off, but that first baseman there doing a nice job, as Stephen Hires has bailed out his fielders throughout. The year runner does advance, so Duluth with a good managerial strategy there, having the runner going.
Absolutely, because that ball had double play written all over it when it was first hit. It was hit hard enough down to Moon at third, and I think the Rams probably could have turned 2, but with the runner going, Plug with a long throw over to first base and almost pulling Junior off the bag, but Stephen with a great job of keeping his foot there, and umpire watching all the way, punched the runner out.
These two teams tied in the regular season for the best record in Division D of 8 Quad A. First pitch inside to DuBose, 1-0. I would not have guessed that we would have seen these two teams here in the region championship, given that South Gwinnett and Parkview played great ball on the other side, but Duluth knocked Parkview out. Newton did the same to South Gwinnett. That pitch also inside, ball 2. So here they are, the Rams and Duluth Wildcats, two teams that have been compared to one another since almost day one. Now they get the chance to face each other, and a tight ball game. So these two teams pretty evenly matched.
On only 1 run separating them in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Bose is hitless tonight. Swings and bounces one down the first baseline. Foul. 2-1.
The pitch by Jeremy to DeBose there as came in on him and breaking down, and DeBose swing barely trickling it down the first baseman.
In fact, the Duluth first baseman has hit all 3 balls toward Brandon Smith, second base. One was turned for a double play, the other 2 for clean outs, 4-3. They don't play him that much to pull, though, except for perhaps the shortstop Easterday, but of course he's close to the runner at second. DeBose lays off the 2-1, and it misses. A little bit high, ball 3.
Jeremy needs to be careful. He does have first base open. Does not want to cruise 3-1 pitch to DeBose.
3-1 pitch. Hit it hard, but foul. That'll land over at the softball field, which is just off to the left of the baseball field here. In fact, we saw Wildcat fast pitch softball practicing down there.
Jeremy tried to come in with a fastball and DeBose took a pretty good cut at it, fouled it off.
Full count. 3-2 pitch. It's bounced right up the middle, but Easterday was right there. And his throw to first is in time. The runner will advance, but defensive positioning helps the Newton Rams. Stanley Allen, for the most part, has been in charge of the defensive positioning, and he does a good job. He's gotten the Rams several outs this year, and a nice job noticing that and putting Easterday to the pull side.
And that was pulled almost to the second base tag. Of course, that's even a double purpose. Like you said, he was holding the runner on, and also DeBose had hit everything to the other side of second base, so it really doesn't make much sense to be protecting the hole right then.
2 down, a runner at third, so Johnson will need to take that runner there, keep him from scoring. Kevin Green will receive the intentional base on balls. Brassfield not going to mess around with Green at all. Green, who had struck out, looking twice, and had walked and scored once, will receive the walk again, perhaps setting up a force play at second base by putting that man on. Got a left-hander coming up. That may also be part of what's going on as Jeremy Johnson has that ball that tails in on the lefties. Been kind of tough on him.
Not a move you normally see made. Kind of interesting. We'll see if it pays off for some Brassfield.
Strike call to Jay Bear. Bear, who is 2 for 2 with a walk. You were pointing this out just a moment ago. Kevin Green is hitless. They put him on for a man who has 2 base hits and a walk tonight.
Of course, that was against a different pitcher than Matt Easterday.
The 0-1 offering from Johnson, swing and a miss. Johnson coming in there with an off speed. He's used to that.
Maybe Coach Brassfield knows a lot more than we do, and that's why he's out there, and we're here.
This is why the Rams have 20 wins and are sitting in a region championship game right now. The 0-2 with the runner going, swings, pops it up. That'll be foul, out of play. So returning to first base will be Green. He is there. Scott Barber, who started this inning by reaching on an error by Brandon Smith, stands at third base. Got to feel bad about that, as the Rams could have been out of this inning. That ball had not taken that hop.
Jeremy well ahead in the count. Throw strikes and get out of here.
0-2 pitch is on the way. Here it is, inside and low with a fastball, 1-2. And as we mentioned, Johnson likes to come down and in to the lefty.
Boyd with another one of his good stops, sliding across and keeping the ball. It's urgent now. They definitely don't want to let that runner score on a wild.
Runner at first is going, the 1-2. Tapped foul over by the Ram dugout. Do it all over again. Talk about excitement. You got a 1-run ball game here. Winner stays at home for the first round of the state playoffs. Loser goes on the road. Of course, the winner also gets to call themselves 8 Quad A region champions.
A strange situation to be sending the runner with a 1-2 count and then with 2 outs, because Lane Floyd can go ahead and throw through beyond the runner and they're out of the inning.
1-2, swing and a miss. Jarvis, make that Jeremy Johnson, putting the ball in a perfect location on the outside corner. He gets there. Joe Brassfield is the genius. Maybe the Rams have some of that genius in their bats. Maybe they can pick up a run. No runs, no hits. 1 error, 2 men left on base. This is the last chance for the Newton Rams, trailing by a run with the region championship on the line. 6-5 Duluth leads. Ram baseball on WGFS, brought to you by the folks at East Metro Communications, Covington's authorized agent for AirTed Cellular and your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment.
If you bear...
And we head now to seventh inning. For the Rams, it's do or die. They have to score a run to stay in it, 2 to take the lead as they trail the Duluth Wildcats. We're coming to you live from Duluth High School from the bleachers. Here with the play-by-play in the crucial seventh inning, Kevin Holden.
We've been instructed to sit down for the seventh inning. Think we will follow. Jarvis Johnson takes the first pitch low, ball one. One precious run. All the Rams need to stay in this game and have a chance at the Region 8 Quad A championship, but oh, is it ever tough. Justin Singleton went into the wind, but time had been called. After Johnson, it's Moon and then Easterday. You know what Matt Easterday did his last time up. Give you a hint. Ball landed on the opposite side of a fence in the outfield.
Any way we could get 1 or 2 runs. Any way at all.
The 1-0 pitch. High, ball 2. Ram fans now with every pitch are going to be behind their team. And the Ram noise, the noise that the fans made really helped them out last night. They made mention of it after the game. That noise will be back tonight. 2-0 pitch. High, ball 3. Time is called. Chris Reeves and Justin Singleton are about to have a serious heart-to-heart. Region championship game. What do you say to a pitcher who just fell behind 3-0 with a 1-run lead?
Especially facing the top of this Newton Ram order. And Jarvis Johnson, who drilled a double his last at bat, also a walk to his credit, and called out on strikes with kind of a questionable call his first at bat.
So a 3-0 count, perhaps the take sign? Wine. Singleton brings home the 3-0. Strike called. Outside corner, 3-1.
Jarvis had the take sign on there. He knew he wasn't going to get a chance to cut loose, but 3-0. 3-1 now.
That is low, ball 4. Jarvis Johnson took a quick hop toward first base, and our hearts kind of quickened for a moment because sometimes if an umpire rings you up when you prematurely go to the base or head for first base, then that could be a serious problem, but it didn't happen that way. Fortunately, it was ball 4.
Good thing, too, that pitch well down. It came across about ankle level, and for some reason the umpire very slow in making a call. And Rams with something going here. Now, do you run or not, Kevin? Or do you go ahead and bunt again with plug to the plate?
You're playing on the road. You have to play to tie. You need that run. I think I would bunt. Joe Brassfield not bunting. First pitch outside, ball 1. Of course, one thing you might want to do is wait to see if Singleton will throw you a strike before you put any kind of play on.
That's right, and they may be doing that right now because he hasn't shown an affinity to throw strikes too well yet.
Over to first. Johnson is back. Singleton retired the Rams on only 1 hit in the 6th, but here in the 7th, he has walked the leadoff man, and that could definitely be dangerous. He represents the tying run. The 1-0 pitch. Moon pops it up, but it's out of play. First base side. 1-1.
Well, that went our theory, Kevin. We figured he might be laying back waiting. Evidently, the play is not on. Of course, we've seen Brassfield switch off and go to a bunt or something. I don't know. Somehow I think maybe you go ahead and let Moon swing away.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He was thinking about it, but he takes the strike on the outside corner. Make it 1-2.
Ram fans not happy with that call. They felt that it was perhaps a little bit low in the zone, but plug in the hole now and has to really protect that plate.
Now Jarvis Johnson taking his lead away from first, an aggressive lead. 1-2 pitch. Moon pops it up to left center field. This one could drop in. Center fielder cuts over, though, and he makes the catch. That's the first out. Ryan Ivey has been the hero for them in all aspects tonight, and he puts away the first out in the 7th.
As you said, Kevin, he has truly been the hero of the night. He's driven in 4 runs for them. In fact, the last 2 that gave them the lead on a ball that he probably wouldn't want to brag about, but except the fact that it fell in untouched and drove in 2 runs. And without 2 outs, of course, it doesn't drive in the 2, but everything in his favor, and the Rams suddenly find themselves behind. And Matt Easterday in a crucial position again.
Let us emphasize, the season is not over. If the Rams lose, they will still be in the state playoffs. They'll just go on the road. However, there is still quite a bit at stake. Region championship, a chance to play at home. Easterday swings, pops it up. It'll be out of play. Behind us, down the first base line, 0-1. Matt, 1 out of 3. That hit a big one. The 2-run blast in the 5th.
Well, right now, I'd like to see Matt just kind of drive the ball towards... Actually, look at the center fielder now, Kevin. He knows Matt Easterday goes that way. He's pulled way around.
A 1 pitch outside. So it evens it up at 1-1. And the man on deck, Lane Floyd, can be dangerous in more ways than one. Either pitch to him and risk the line drive or the home run, or don't pitch to him and you have another base runner.
Once again, Matt Easterday, kind of the crucial hitter here.
1-1 pitch. Thought about checking his swing. That ball came in and hit the bat, 1-2, as he just tapped it foul. Easterday absolutely not meaning to swing at that one.
No, he actually truly tried to hold the bat back, and it just got out just a little too far. That probably would have been ball two, I think.
Sometimes those tough breaks go against you. Rams have had their share of tough breaks tonight. A ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. Jarvis Johnson still at first. Leads away the 1-2 pitch. Easterday taking high, 2-2. A tough pitch to lay off in that kind of situation in the fact that it's high, but that's the senior leadership.
Job by Matt. And he's even in the count now. I really don't think you're going to see any running right now.
Here's the 2-2, and that's low with the curveball. They'll check the first base umpire, who, once again, about 10 feet away from Stanley Allen, would dare not say much. He said that Easterday did not go around. 3-2.
No, Matt did an excellent job of checking there. I mean, I'm surprised they even asked for that one, but it doesn't cost you anything, so you might as well go ahead and try it.
Payoff pitch is due to the Ram. Pitcher turns shortstop, swings and lines, one base hit into right field. Around second is Johnson. He will head for third. They'll stop in there. Runners at the corners. 1 down. And if you're going to win a region championship, you've got to do it the hard way. For Duluth, that means you have to go through Lane Floyd, the next man up.
Kevin Holden, that was a picture-perfect hit-and-run play. Jarvis Johnson took off on the play. The second baseman, Jeff Bradford, started towards second base. He stopped in his tracks, couldn't get back. That ball was hit right where he stood. But it stands now as a single for Easterday, who comes through once again, in a critical spot. Matt Easterday, the senior, showing the leadership that you expect out of him. Rams with a chance, and you couldn't ask for a better hitter right now. And hopefully Lane can maintain and go back to that style of hitting he's been doing. Just stay in there and drive the ball the other way if they want to give him that.
Duluth coach is out to have a discussion with his infield, perhaps about that very same thing. Lane Floyd hit the ball back to the pitcher on an outside pitch in the second inning, something that he might have tried to take to the off-field. He doubled, pulling the ball in the fourth, pulled the ball again to the first baseman in the fifth. They'll probably play him a couple of steps to pull. Duluth coach is going to leave Singleton in there. Runners at first and third. That man at third base is the run that will keep this game going if he can come across. Remember, a lot of room behind home plate, a wild pitch or a pass ball could help the Rams.
Duluth is going to play for the double play up the middle. They'll play in at the corners.
Wow, that's all you can say about the end of this one. Rams always give you this kind of finish in big games. Floyd takes the first pitch high, ball 1.
If he can keep it going, if he walks, that'll bring Stephen Hires to play. And Stephen has been hitting the ball hard the last several games. His average not showing for him, but he has been hitting the ball hard.
Floyd swings and lines one, could be a double play ball. They go to second for 1 to throw to first. Duluth has won the region championship. Lane Floyd, a 4-6-3 double play ground ball, tailor-made for the Wildcats, and the fundamental defense gives them the Region 8 Quad A championship. Wildcat players mobbing one another in shallow left field. They deserve it. They have made it through the sub-region tournament and this region championship game and come out with a very close one-run victory. The Wildcats got to feel good about their chances. They will finish as the number 1 seed in 8 Quad A and will play here at Duluth High School against the number 2 seed from 7 Quad A. The Newton Rams, by virtue of the loss, now become the number 2 seed. They will make it to the state tournament, but Bill will be on the road this weekend.
Well, we're getting used to that now, Kevin. Tonight's game could have been played at home. We lost the coin toss, so we're here. And tough loss for the Rams, considering particularly how the last 2 runs scored on a little bloop. Lane Floyd hit that ball too well as it was right to the second baseman, and he had a real sick feeling as soon as the ball was hit that it was going to be a double play.
We'll be back right after this to wrap things up. Duluth Wildcats, champions of 8 Quad A. Back after this, Ram Baseball on WGFS, AM 1430 East Metro Communications. Your local source for cellular paging and two-way radio equipment sponsored the game today.
And welcome back to a very calm and quiet Duluth High School now as the Newton Rams went down to the wire. They had the tying run at third base as the last out was made, and you can't get any closer than that as it has been all year with these two teams. And I think they're going to bring trophies out. Now they're going to award some trophies here, Kevin, but the Rams unfortunately come away on the short end of the stick and they'll finish as runners-up. But they are going to the state tournament. Their season is not over. Evan, how about some totals and highlights?
The totals for Duluth: 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. They left 9 men on base. Rams did a good job keeping runners on base. Lee Naylor, John Garamone, and Justin Singleton combining as Duluth picks up this win here. The 3 pitchers. Naylor went the first 4 innings. Duluth retook the lead in the 5th. Garamone will get the win. Singleton will pick up the save with the 2 strong innings. For the Newton Rams, 5 runs, 8 hits. They made 2 miscues and left 5 on base. Matt Easterday was out there in the 5th inning and will be responsible for the 2 runs that will score, so he will get the loss. Jeremy Johnson, though, was the one who gave up the 2 runs, and right now, the highlight of this game for Duluth Wildcats boils down to a man who filled in the lineup card tonight in the number 9 spot on the order, but really took advantage. Ryan Ivey, center fielder for Duluth. Don't expect a number 9 hitter to do a lot of damage. He did. 2-run homer and a 2-run single. And so he is their version of the player of the game, but still our WGFS player of the game on the Newton side helped contribute a lot to the Newton Ram cause tonight as they came up just short, but he was there in every crucial moment coming through.
Young man that has done it consistently from the leadoff spot. Tonight he walked in the 3rd inning, had a ringing double in the 5th inning, and walked in the 7th inning to get it started. He was the one standing at third base when the final out was made, just wanting to score that tying run. That, of course, being senior Jarvis Johnson. Our congratulations to Jarvis as the WGFS player of the game.
Jarvis Johnson probably would trade that in and a lot more for a win in this game as the Rams go down by 1 run. Very close ball game and the lead changing hands several times, but when it came down to it, it came down to a couple of breaks and a couple of inches here, a couple of inches there. Well played from both sides, but the breaks went the Wildcats' way tonight.
It's really kind of hard to take, I guess, when the winning hit is a little bloop, when you make a good pitch, bust a guy in on the hand, and it could see Shorty was tearing out after, and you just knew he wasn't going to get it. 2 outs, runners all going, and it was just a matter of time. And they did score. You kind of hoped that the Rams could come back and get one, but a couple things happened, and then the last out made on pulling perhaps once again that outside pitch instead of going the other way with it like we had hoped. It hit it hard, but that's what happens when you try to pull that outside pitch. You hit a lot of hard ground balls, and that turned into an easy 4-6-3 double play.
But nothing but credit for the Duluth Wildcats, who made pitches when they needed to, and in the 7th inning, got the Rams' most dangerous hitter of the tournament to ground into a 4-6-3 double play. So give their pitching staff and Justin Singleton, who gets the save tonight, the credit, because they earned region championship, no doubt about that.
Well, they certainly did when you beat a team as tough as Newton. And I don't think either team has to hold their heads down at all because they both played well. And this is one of those games where it's a shame where a team has to lose. And unfortunately for the Newton Rams, unfortunately for us, we're on the road Saturday.
We will take on the number 1 seed from 7 Quad A, whoever that will be, and we will play at their ballpark. So that's kind of a tougher assignment. We'll let you know who that is. A couple of the early favorites in 7 Quad A have been Lovejoy's Wildcats and Morrow's Mustangs. Might be at Morrow High School Saturday for a doubleheader. Might we be at Lovejoy High School, a team that the Rams played and beat in extra innings earlier this year?
I guess only time will tell, Kevin Holden, and we'll know something and be able to bring it to the folks during the day tomorrow, hopefully on WGFS.
We will do that for you on local news. We will also bring you live action of the state tournament. Bill, we're back in this state tournament mode here. It's tremendous to call those games when you're down to the Elite 16, the Sweet 16, I guess you could call it, of high school baseball in Quad A, and the Rams will try to advance to the Elite 8 with that win. It's a best-of-3 series. Doubleheader will be played Saturday, with a third game to be played, if necessary, on Monday. So the Rams right now will just try to regroup, come back at whoever the 7 Quad A opponent is that they're going to face on Saturday.
And we'll be there to bring it to them. And like the Rams are packing up quickly to head for the bus. Maybe we better do that.
To wrap things up and thank all of the folks that were here tonight at Duluth High School that made this region championship the exciting affair and a little bit of adrenaline on the radio. You could hear the folks cheering every half inning. They stay behind their team. That fan support does not ever go away for this Ram team, and they're very thankful of that, so we want to thank them and everybody who helped make this broadcast possible. Cast of Thousands and executive producer Brian Crispin. Don't even have to talk about that. He's the old automatic if there's been any during 1997. And also for my broadcast partner, Bill Dolan, Kevin Holden reporting from Duluth High School. The 8 Quad A Region Championship belongs to the Duluth Wildcats. 6-5. Good night, everyone.